Good evening, and welcome to the build-up show for West Ham versus Tottenham, or Dirty Spurs, whatever you would prefer. The London Derby, let's call it that way. Welcome one and all. Well, I don't know how you're feeling about this one. I've got to be honest, though. Doing our breakfast show over on our Patreon channel this morning, there was quite a lot of positivity about this game, it has to be said. So, and maybe it's just Tottenham. Anything can happen in a game like this, let's be perfectly honest. And it usually does. We're going to have team news in about 3 or 4 minutes. Official team news. I don't normally look. I've had a little look. I'll give you a little teaser. Areola doesn't look like Areola's fit, but you never know. Maybe I've been given false information. Usually not, but it looks like it could be false information. A couple of tweaks to the Tottenham team as well, as I understand it. Thank you very much. If someone could deal with that chat, that would be absolutely lovely. And it's a tenner, by the way. What I would like to do today in this build-up show is we're going to have a little chat about West Ham. We are going to announce all the team news. We're going to have a little cheeky bet. Probably put something like a £5 on it, quite frankly. And we're going to try and win one of you fine people a little bit of money. There you go. Now, Gio, of course, he's not here today. I would usually say something ridiculous like Gio was at a Women's Institute convention or a jam-making guild semi-final. Maybe he'd be watching Girls Aloud or something like that. But I've got to tell you, for once, I'm going to tell you the truth. He's gone to the game. He has gone to West Ham versus Tottenham. There's been a lot of train naughtiness today. Trains from Euston were all sort of cancelled and everything like that. So there may well be quite an empty stadium at the start of the game, but not because David Moyes' football's crap on this occasion, because the trains are crap. Anyway, when he's not here, we have a little cheeky bet. So normally we'll try and win one of you like 100 or 200 quid. Today we're going to try and win one of you like sort of 500 quid or £1,000 or something like that. Not because we put any more money down on it, but basically we will do something quite ridiculous. And we will try and call the score exactly right. A little bit later on, I'll try and convince you to download an absolutely brilliant app called Match Bingo. And Match Bingo is an amazing app. No, that's not it. That's not it either. Where's the Match Bingo one? That's the one, isn't it? Look at that. Magic. Should have done that before, really, shouldn't I? Match Bingo tonight is £2 per game. We'll get to that in just a bit. I think we are only 1 minute away from the starting lineups, and I think I can probably say now that there's not much change to this team, and I think that's okay. I don't want there to be much change to this team at all. I just want to say a hello to Barry there. I'm very well, thank you, Barry. I tell you what, it is absolutely hammering it down outside. I don't know what the weather's like at the London Stadium or where you are, Barry, but it is nasty old weather. Anyway, it is quarter past. Quarter past, of course, means it's an hour before kickoff, and an hour before kickoff means the teams will have been announced. Let's see if I've heard it correct. No, even on the official West Ham social media account, the team is not up yet. It's still not up yet. This is most unorthodox. They're a little bit slow. I had the team before they did. How's that managed? Anyway, there you go. We'll just wait for that, Charlie, because there we go. We now have the official starting lineups. Now, as I mentioned a minute or so ago, I know Alphonse Areola, he's pulled his groin. Which is not as much fun as someone else pulling your groin for you. But anyway, he's pulled his groin, and so I think he's injured. I don't think he's not in the team, and it was a punishment because he got caught pulling his groin. He's not in the team. Fabianski is. Soufal, who was a bit naughty in the last game, no groin pulling there. He was just he just got done, didn't he? He kept on getting done by Anthony Gordon, and then of course Harvey Barnes didn't have a good game, but David Moyes keeps faith with him. Someone else he's kept faith with is Kurt Zouma. I don't know. I'm reading this in the order that it's actually on the West Ham site, but of course it will be Mavropanos who plays as right centre back. Zouma is he didn't make any defensive mistakes. Let me just get that right against Newcastle. But it's weird to see him play, Saturday and then Tuesday. That's quite. We don't know if he can do it, but we saw him in training. I don't know if you saw over on the official site. They had all the pictures there for the training. So, but he was training. He's clearly running around and doing his training. So maybe he's right. So Mavropanos and Zouma at centre half. Emerson plays at left back. Now, obviously, the big decision. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to pick James Ward-Prowse again. James Ward-Prowse was a bit of an interesting one, actually. I felt in the last game because he didn't do anything wrong, but he also didn't do anything. And David Moyes obviously hauled him off, and the rest is sort of history. Not that was a substitution that particularly killed it. It was it was the other one. We'll get to that later. Souček plays. I thought Souček had a magnificent game against Newcastle. Lucas Paqueta or Paqueta, whichever one you want. Just one of them, though. Playing. Will be central again. Why would you move Mohamed Kudus off that left-hand side when he had such a wonderful game? A wonderful, wonderful game. He was my man of the match in the game against Newcastle. But we had some good performers in the game against Newcastle. Really did. Jared Bowen, of course, who scored and got an assist, and Michail Antonio, who was, pretty pivotal to the performance of West Ham and actually the destruction of West Ham, because when he got taken off, he was... it weren't too good at all, was it? So there you go. There's the team. It's scrolling, I say, along the bottom of your screen there. Let me know what you think about the team. Well, not just let me know what you think about the team. More importantly, vote in our poll what you think about the team. We run a poll for every game, and Charlie uses some choice words. Sometimes he's frugal with his language, and sometimes he's very flamboyant with his language. But he'll be basically asking you, are you happy? Are you knocked off with a team? Are you sort of benign to it? Do you not care? What do you think about that lineup? But I would factor in he probably doesn't have a choice, obviously, with Areola, what with a groin thing and everything. So there you go. Yes, that's the team. That is the West Ham team for today. And I don't know if Charlie's typed it up yet. We all type like that, don't we? He probably doesn't. He probably does it. It's quick, isn't he? There's the bench. Anang, Johnson, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Phillips, Earthy, Cornet, Ings, Mubama. That's a big call. That's a big call with Phillips. It really is. That's showing faith in the player, and I guess he had to. You know what? I guess he had to. I guess you could maybe say if he hadn't have picked him, that would have totally destroyed his confidence. But I think his confidence is destroyed anyway. Do you not think that? It's an interesting one. I'm glad he didn't start him. Personally, I would have absolutely put Lewis Orford on that bench, and as he would be my sort of midfield sub. I think even if he has to here, what I think is really, really important, if he has to do a midfield substitution, I'd rather see Ben Johnson play. Out of that lot, I'd rather see Ben Johnson playing central midfield than see Phillips come on. For his own protection and the team's protection, for everyone's protection, actually. Do you know what? Bearing in mind, I just wish he'd kicked Anthony Gordon's leg a little bit harder, really. If we're going to get the pen anyway, might as well have taken him out while you're there. You know what I mean? So there you go. That is the West Ham bench and the West Ham team. We're going to do a little bet in just a minute. But before we do that, I think it's only fair that we look at Tottenham's team. And I had said, but there we go. There it is. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van, a good doggy. Bissouma, Bentancur, he's come back for this one. Maddison, Johnson, Werner, and Son. So Johnson got, I don't know if you notice, probably don't care. Johnson got man of the match. He was on the bench against Luton, came off the bench. I think he might have set up both goals, but obviously my knowledge of Tottenham is not fantastic. Isn't it funny at the end? It says Werner and Son. That sounds like an umbrella company. Do you know what I mean? It really does, doesn't it? Werner and Son. It's like a manufacturer of tinned sweets, like the tin of sweets your granddad used to have in his car, or horse and carriage if you're my age. I mean, look, it's a good team. There's a couple of changes there. I'm pretty sure Bentancur didn't start in the last game again. It's a good Tottenham team, right? Lots of good players there. Maddison's obviously a bit of decent signing from coming back into form. Johnson started slow, but as I say, looks to be in form. Werner, this worries me. I would wonder if Johnson, because what's his name? Kulusevski, is that his name? He would play on the right. So I wonder if Johnson, Brennan Johnson, by the way, a couple of Johnsons here, two Johnsons. I read Brennan will play on the right. Timo Werner on the left. I don't think this is this is not good for Vladimir Coufal. I don't know. I am worried about a penalty. I'm worried about him being basically Coufal conceding a penalty. Mind you, I'm worried about Son up against Zuma. I'm worried about quite a lot. It's probably not just me. I reckon. Werner and Son to Rosu. Sorry, Brian. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Charlie, my old treacle. Any chance of a Tottenham bench, please? Have we typed that up yet? Oh, there it is. Austin, Royal, Davis, Dragusin, Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Sarr, Kulusevski, and Richarlison. Austin, that's lovely traditional car manufacturer there. Royal Austin. Oh, there's some of the companies. Royal Austin, Hall and Cavendish, all of them. Werner and Son. It's a very ye oldie type lineup that Tottenham have got. They're probably all English by the sounds of it, aren't they? So there you go. Austin, Royal Austin, Davis, Dragusin. I think that sounds like a good name. Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Sarr, Kulusevski, Richarlison. They've got some bloody good players on their bench. So, there you go. There it is. A wonderful, wonderful lineup from West Ham, albeit the ones that aren't wonderful and are just having to go in there with a bit of a sticking plaster at the moment. What is interesting, I don't know if we can have that. Actually, Charlie, sorry to throw you a curveball. We can have that West Ham bench up again, could we, please, my friends? Because thanks, buddy. And it was, as I thought. Okay, you could put the amalgamated stuff back up now. No, for Gerd. So clearly he's still injured. So I think probably you're seeing Zuma playing there. It is something of a necessity, actually. So I don't think there was any chance. Anyway, can you just talk amongst yourselves for a second? I swig on my tea. It's a good. I don't think you can see it. I don't want to spill it on my keyboard. That is a dark, rich cup of tea. Sort of stuff you get. A Royal Austin cup of tea, you might say. Beautiful cup of tea. That normally when Gio's here, he'll do the talking. I'll sip on my tea then, but I can't go through half an hour without wetting my palate, so to speak. We'll do some lovely comments. Make sure your comments. I'm sorry, I don't normally do that. Come on, keep it clean. I didn't have to click on it, did I? I guess we'll do your comments in just a bit. A couple of things. In fact, you know what we're going to do before we do the bet? I want to promote Match Bingo. Match Bingo is excellent. I've got to tell you, I've got my bingo card in for today. We have had so many winners on Match Bingo that we've lost count. Match Bingo are so good, I don't know how they're making any money. Between 25 and 30 winners, we've lost count. Another winner came in yesterday. Let me tell you what Match Bingo is. Match Bingo is basically football mixed with bingo. Or cricket. There's a cricket one as well, right? And there's a darts one, but we'll deal with the football. You download the app and there's free-to-play games on there like bingos, or there's always a Premier League game that's free-to-play. But the bingo cards are £2 each. They give you 15 dings, basically like a bingo card. Well, you get different numbers on a bingo card, and when somebody calls it out, two fat ladies, 88, two little ducks, quack, quack, 22, and you tick them off. You don't have to tick them off. They tick them off for you. But instead of being numbers, they're instants that happen in a game. A throw-in, a goal, a card, substitution, that type of thing. There's a prize pot for all the different games. All the prize pots are always different. If you get one line, you get a payout. You get 2 lines, you get a payout. You get a full house, you get a payout. And they've actually done a bonus one with an additional full house. We've had £25 winners. We've had £50 winners. We've had £100 winners. We've had every kind of winner on Hammers Chat. But one thing I do know is people are winning on this game. The link is in the description below. Actually, Charlie, would you just please check that it is? The link is in the description below. Match Bingo is fantastic. Get it downloaded. Play the free-to-play games if you want to. But you know what? Even if you... So tonight's game is obviously West Ham Tottenham. That's £2 to play. Can't break the bank at £2, can you? Let's be perfectly honest. Anyway, that's your £2. I think what we need to do now is get on and try and make a bet. Let me just deal with this. Right. Brian, I've not been swimming today. I did go swimming yesterday, funny enough. I've not stopped the old swimming, right? But it got blown out of the water, didn't it? Because I was doing the swimming. We had a couple of wins. Then I went swimming and we lost. So it clearly, us winning had nothing to do with me swimming. I'm not even particularly superstitious. It was you lot that were superstitious. So I carried on. I was going to say fishing. I wasn't fishing. I carried on swimming. But that's so I'm going to carry on swimming for health reasons and for fitness reasons. But me swimming or not swimming clearly has no impact on the result, as I'm sure pretty much everybody understood anyway. Oh, blown out of water. Absolutely. That's given me an idea. Let me get a big shout out, by the way. Where's he gone? West Ham fan channel, the Free Hammers, right? These are good guys, all right. This is probably Luke doing this now. Luke is a blinding guy. He really is. Give him a check him out. Go and subscribe to their channel. I love these guys. I really, really do. What's Luke saying? What was he saying? Soufal card. Oh, do you know what? That's what we're starting to bet with. So, while I go and put a Soufal card down, I think we're going to need a West Ham win. I think we want a high-scoring game, don't we? Because the funny thing is, right, we've got an attacking manager and a defensive manager, but the defensive manager manages to concede more goals than the attacking manager. How's that for you? Basically, we can't defend. Although David Moyes did say he was an attacking manager. So whilst you're getting in a suitable scoreline, I'm going to go and take Luke's suggestion and get a player card. And funny enough, I'm going to have to scroll down. I've got to have to make sure that I don't do sent off. I keep doing that. Okay, I almost did it straight away. Okay, that is stingy odds just for that card. So we're going to have to think up a few more things. This is for the bet here. Right, do you know what? I'm doing that. Lewis, I'm doing that. I am doing 4-3. This is highly unlikely, but you know what? We've got to go for it. Do you know what I mean? We've got to go for it. There's no point someone winning a couple of quid here or there. I'm not even sure 4-3. It's 4-3. I've got to scroll down. 4-3 to West Ham. Wow. Okay. That'll be interesting. Okay. We will add goal scorers in. I can't do, Glenn, I can see you. I cannot do, in all honesty, and in all fairness, I know I said this bet is a little bit realistic, but I can't put James Ward-Prowse to score a goal. I can't. I really, really can't. I'm just looking. So I'm looking for goal scorers here. I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat. Basuma yellow. I'm not going to do another yellow. We got Soufal. I don't want to do two. Okay, Ryan. I'm going with that. I'll tell you why. It's the first thing I saw, Ryan. That's the first thing I saw. I'm going to need another goal scorer in the chat while I go and click on Konstantinos Mavropanos, which is the finest name in football. Okay, right. I need one more goal scorer here. Oh, Phillips goal. I like it. Kudus goal. Brian's featured a lot. It just caught my eye there. Let's have a look and see what the odds are for a Kudus goal. Mohamed Kudus. Sorry, almost swore. I'll try not to. It ain't great. It ain't great. Do you know what? I'll do it anyway. And I'll tell you what. Let's get one more goal scorer. Ooh. Do you know what? I'm actually going to leave it there. I'm going to leave that there. I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to add that to the bet slip. Okay. And I'm going to place the bet, and I'm placing the bet now. There you go. That bet is done. I don't want to overdo it. That's the bet builder. It's 500 quid basically. It's 500 quid. So is the bet. The bet is Vladimir Soufal to be booked. The score will be 4-3 to West Ham. Mavropanos to score any time and Kudus to score any time. Have you got that? Soufal to be booked. 4-3 to West Ham. Mavropanos to score any time. And Mohamed Kudus to score any time. I've managed to do that. I think that is the most reasonable bet I have ever done. So I'm actually going to, somebody posted up a little while ago. So we're not going to go blown out of the water for the phrase that pays. We're going to go Bowen out of the water. The phrase that pays is Bowen out of the water. You have to enter that phrase into the live chat. I'm just waiting for someone to type it up now. And if you post that phrase into the live chat. I'm going to try. Hey, there it is. Chris done it. There you go. Write that into live chat. You are automatically entered into a competition. So if, speaking of my tea, excuse me, those most unlikely of circumstances happen, West Ham win 4-3, that Sufal gets a card. Mavropanos, he doesn't have to score a header. He could do it with his foot if he wants. And Kudus scores. One of you who has typed in Bowen out of the water will pick. I'll get my daughter to pick it. I'll do it all transparent, like, do you know what I mean? We'll do it, I'll stick it on whatever. We'll do a little YouTube short or something on both the channels. Should pick it out of the hat. Actually, I'm not writing all that in a hat. I'll get her to scroll down the list and stop. I'm writing all them down. I'll tell you that much. And one of you will win. My daughter. I was going to say my daughter's very honest. Mostly she is honest. But let me tell you this. So before Easter, I got like this little bucket. It was full of little Easter eggs, right? And you put them on a little Easter egg hunt. And the bucket had packaging round it. So it had like a cardboard packaging. And you get you do the egg hunt and they get to keep the bucket. The bucket's like anyway. She's prized open the packaging. Taken one of the eggs out. This is before Easter, by the way. Taken one of the eggs out and then put the packaging back together. And I only knew because it was like the foil wrapper. I found a foil wrapper under a pillow. There you go. So I would like to tell you my daughter is honest. She's mostly honest. There we go. Anyway. Right. Bowen out the water. There you go. Everyone's saying it. That's the phrase that pays. Right. There you go. So I think it's our admin done. I think we've done our bet. I think we've read out the team lineups. I think we've promoted match bingo. I think the rest of the evening is ours, boys and girls. The rest of the evening is ours. We could talk about a bit of West Ham now. I'm sure when Charlie comes along, we'll have a little bit of food talk as well. Would they? Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. Actually, do you know what? I've got to tell you, there's another story. It's a Tooth Fairy one, but I'm not gonna do that story now. It's a story. Remind me another day. I think it might be a story for when the children have gone to bed. Put it that way. I'm aware there might be some young children watching this. It's not a school night, is it? So you're probably there. You're probably there if you're watching this. Your kids are staying up late tonight. They're going to watch West Ham beat Tottenham 4-3. We're going to keep it clean today. Anyway. So what are we thinking about this team? Tell me what you think about the team today. I'll tell you what I think about this. I really do think that what is important in this game is that really important here that David Moyes gets the substitution right. This is really key. It's really, really critical. Last two games, Aston Villa, Newcastle. We've been in control. I mean, relative control against Aston Villa. He changed it. Antonio goes off. A defensive type substitution. We can see the points, we get a draw. The Newcastle one was worse because I think actually we were in cruise control. And he told a lie. We were passing it around. We were brilliant. Honestly, the way we were passing it around, we strung together a passing move like 20 passes. They'd made all their substitutions. They had a centre-back who was clutching his hamstring. They were there for more goals, and he decided to go defensive when they were really no threat at all, and we were in control. He needs to learn from both these things, Moyes. And if he does that, then what he needs to do is he needs to keep it. Look, Antonio possibly won't last the game anyway. But if he does it, then he needs to make the substitution. And what he needs to do is put Cornet on or something like that. Or something, you can't do Antonio for Ben Johnson, for instance. You can't do Antonio for Calvin Phillips. You really can't. Maybe put Kudus up front and stick Earthy on or something. To be a creative player, we must retain that number. I'm assuming here we're still in the lead at this point. That might not happen. Tottenham could absolutely slaughter us in this game. But as I said at the start of the video, it's a Tottenham West Ham derby. Anything can happen in these games. It's we do have a good record against them. There's no doubt about it at all. And maybe, just maybe, they play a brand of football that might suit us and our counter-attack. And I think, I think it's really important for us to do it. Sorry, let me just answer this question. Danny, you can only put £2 down. You haven't got to put in a tenner. So if what you've done, so I'm just asking, if you've uploaded £10 to your Match Bingo account, you don't have to put all £10 on it. Just bet £2 on the game. I mean, look, just do that and maybe put whatever. Don't spend a tenner on it. Try your luck. Make your tenner last, mate. It certainly doesn't have to all be spent today. Doesn't all have to be spent on one game. Just buy a £2 card, and it will just say complete. It will say how many cards you want. Just click one and then click complete purchase. It's really, really easy. I am crap with apps and stuff like that. If I can do it, Danny, then you can, mate. No worry about that at all. Right then, okay. What's not today, Andy? Not today. I've got the ointment. Oh, sorry. It means is Danny Ings. I wouldn't bring Danny Ings on. I've got Andy. I wouldn't bring Danny Ings on for Antonio, because at least I think if you bring a Cornet, it doesn't change the style of play too much. I know Danny Ings, the last time we saw him, he did well, but I don't think you've really got to change the composition of the team too much. All right, obviously Cornet's not got Antonio's strength, but he can still pull wide like Antonio does. He's still got the pace. Ultimately, you don't have to change too much. Or I'd put Kudus up there. So no Danny Ings, no Granny Dings, none of that type stuff. Right then. What are we thinking about? What are we thinking about this game? Are you confident? That's what I want to know. Are you confident? There was a lot of confidence, a lot of positivity around earlier on. Hold on. That's a good cup of tea, but it's getting colder. It's going to be really, really interesting. Yes, sorry, I've got to answer this. Elbow 73. Charlie is here tonight. Charlie is doing a watch along. He's back. Charlie's back. That's absolutely brilliant. So we're obviously all delighted about that. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm interested to know what you think. It's funny, actually. So what we've got here, Spurs lose their cup final 3-1. Well, see, I did not ask for predictions yet. I did not want predictions. This is the type of thing I want to hear. Avid endorsement. He don't like going out. Zero confidence. We're getting dumped 4-0. I'm not saying I want us to lose 4-0. I'm just saying I would like your opinions on the game. Chris, he got it right, didn't he? He got it right. Mr. Akabusi, he absolutely got it right with his Phillips stuff. Anyway, surprisingly, Zuma again. He's going to get turned inside out and run ragged. I'm really worried about Zuma against Son. I really am. This is, it does seem like a bit of a mismatch, really, doesn't it? So, but no, a Gerd there. I think Gio said he would have picked a Gerd for this one. I said I'd have picked a Gerd for this one. No, a Gerd. So, I've got to be honest, I don't think we're going to see much of him between now and the end of the season. I really don't. And I think he's off at the end of the season. Ashley, keep your score. Keep your score. We're going to do the scores in about 2 minutes. Brian says Moyes better keep his tactics positive. Kevin, I'm hopeful but not confident. I think you can always be hopeful again when play Spurs. I really do. What else have we got here? This will be interesting. Potato salad man hat trick 3-0 win. All I'd say about this is I do think that when there's no Edson Alvarez in the team, that I think he just stays back an awful lot. And he did a stellar performance. Souček did. We on our Patreon, when we do player ratings on our Patreon channel. By the way, if you want to check out our Patreon channel, we've got a 7-day free trial. Check the link down below, patreon.com/hammerschat. We went through the stats. He had certainly the most headed clearances. He had the most interceptions or the most clearances. He had a magnificent game. Thomas Souček, defensively a magnificent game. But I think when we don't have Edson Alvarez, he's just not going to get into those positions. Although I am aware you're probably having a joke, a bit tongue in cheek with a hat trick there. I'm just saying. And I do think it's funny, isn't it, with this Edson Alvarez stuff? Because I was very not on my own, like a lot of you, very concerned about Edson Alvarez being out. He's out for 3 games, and we've lost the first one. And I think it's really time that we arrest this slide. We've become very, very worried, very concerningly reliant on that player. I mean, this is interesting. Spurs will kick us all over the pitch. We have shown the capacity to be bullied this season. It's really important that doesn't happen. And funnily enough, Andrew, the one player I thought is resistant to the bullying is Edson Alvarez, who's not here today. And what we're doing, old man Shaggy says, hi, Gonzo. I'm worried about Zuma against both Son and Maddison. Look, all I would say is, for this one, is I've not said an awful lot. I've not said an awful lot about the game. We have players for them to worry about. We've got some amazing footballers. I think I've spent so much time talking about what I'm concerned about and who could maybe get skinned and who could get done and what's wrong with us. There is a lot of stuff that's right with us. Kudus, Paqueta, Bowen are magnificent players. Antonio is in damn good form at the moment, and he's a handful. I don't like his matchup with Romero. I think Romero's had his numbers. Numbers? How many numbers he's got? Has had his number on occasion. So, yeah, I think we have got stuff for them to worry about. And just Willis, funny enough, I'm not full of beans tonight. I'm actually bloody starving. I've not had anything to eat. Not all day. I did eat. I had a bit of lunch earlier. Right. Anyway, let's have your score predictions in, please. It's now score prediction time. Obviously, we want it to be 4-3. We want the West Ham win, and we want someone in the chat to win 500 Alan Wicker, don't we? But sorry, probably not people watching this thinking who's Alan Wicker. We do. That's what we want. But what do you think is going to happen? And we'll start off with Chris here, who says a 3-3 draw. Emily, she's saying a 2-1 win. Harry, 3-1 to the Hammers. Collingwood, who's won 2. By the way, in our Patreon, we do a score prediction. He's won 2 shirts. I think he won an Areola shirt and a Jared Bowen shirt within 2 weeks of each other. I'd get a bet on that. This geezer knows his stuff. 3-2 or 5-4. It's going to be nuts. Victor says 3-3. Brian says 3-2. West Ham. Steve says 3-2. He's even picked the goal scorers there. And what have we got here? We are going on a European tour. 5-2 to the Mighty Hammers. Daddy Gonzo. There we go. 5-2 to the Mighty Hammers. 3-2 West Ham, says Scampy. Don't trust Scampy. Not you. The food. 3-1 says AS. And Andy is taunting me. He's just had meatballs and pasta. He's taunting me because he knows I'm hungry. Andy has been round this house before. He knows I'm sat in my shed. He knows I'm a long way from the kitchen, a long way from eating any food. And he is taunting me. 5-3 says Darren Howes. Adrian Whitfield. A lovely picture. Is he on the beach? He's somewhere nice by a lake. He's somewhere nice anyway. That's for sure. 1-5. He may be somewhere nice, but he's not being nice. I think Adrian's a Tottenham fan. He's saying 5-1 to Tottenham. Bertie says 2-1, and he's named Bowen and Kudus. And what have we got here? We got 3-2, says Rex. Ben says 1-3 Spurs. And what else have we got? We got Barry Clark, 3-1 to West Ham. Please. He's saying please. I've got no sway over at Barry. We thought I used to have some kind of influence on the game when we swimming. It doesn't work. My swimming doesn't work. If it did, I'd have swum today, but I swam yesterday. It's a damn 5-4 match. I tell you what was yesterday with the swimming. It's the school holidays. I've turned into a grumpy old man. There was like children in my way, and they're no respecters of me going up and down, up and down, and up and down. They're dive bombing. They're doing all the stuff that I used to do when I was a kid. I used to go to Ilford swimming baths. I used to, me and my cousin Michael, we used to jump. We're doing all the stuff back in the days, and so there was kids doing it. There are no respecters. I'm an old man now. I want to do up and down, up and down, up and down. They're there with noodles and floats and dive bombing and all the rest of it. Ruined me swim. Avid Endorsement says 3-0 loss. Mark Watts, 3-1 to Spurs. Unfortunately, Stephen Russell thinks we're going to lose 2-1. Grouch says 1-1. Glenn thinks Spurs are going to win 4-3. And Stephen Summerfield thinks Hammers will win 3-1. I think we can do a little bit more than that. What have we got? We got Akram says 2-1 to the Hammers. Artel 3-2 to the Hammers. Luap, I think I've said that correctly. 3-2 to Tottenham Hotspur. Taylor Thompson, big 3-1 to the Hammers. And Martin Popovic, 1-0 to West Ham. I don't know, Martin. This doesn't feel like a 1-0. It's not a 1-0 game. I don't like these defences, either of them. I quite like Tottenham's if it's crap. But I don't. Romero worries me. Ryan Snell, 4-3 Paqueta masterclass. I'd like that. I like that. Very particular. Ian R says, well, basically 3-1 to Tottenham is what Ian thinks there. We got 2-2. We got a 3-1. We got a 3-2. We got a 3-1. Major. Oh, no. Oh, no. Thinks it's 1-0 to Tottenham with a Phillips own goal. We got another Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We got Wes is saying 1-1. He's somewhere nice. He's very picturesque. Some of these pictures, actually. Michael says 3-1. Andy the Meatball Walsh says 3-1. 2-1 says Todd. We got a 5-1 to the Hammers. Counterbalanced by Ryan, saying a 5-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. And we have got a 6 and a 6. Imagine that. Has there ever been a 6-6 in Premier League? I don't know. I'm thinking not. 2-1, 3-1, and finally, the phrase that pays is Bowen out of the water, Brad. Phrase that pays. Finally, John Connolly says 3-1. Come on, you Irons. There we go. I got to be honest with you, Stephen. I've got to be honest here. No, I don't think I've got time. I don't think I've got time. I think we're dealing. I've got a bit of baguette left. I think we're dealing with a chicken baguette, and maybe if I've got time, maybe I'll chuck a bit of lettuce and tomato in there, a bit of salt and pepper. It's nothing grand, but I've got no time to cook anything. Somebody who has had plenty of time to cook something is Bevo, aka, but actually it's not Bevo, aka, it's Charlie Walsh, aka Bevo, in the house, not my house, his house.
You'd think that. You'd think I'd have time. No, it's what it is. I can answer that question for you. There's never been a 6-6 in the Premier League. There's been a 5-5, and there's also been a 6-4, but never a 6-6.
I knew it. The supercomputer.
Just unlikely, isn't it?
I think the supercomputer's sharper than normal at the moment, with all the swimming and the chicken baguette.
It's also someone earlier to say you're full of beans. It's just in there. It's just rocking and rolling.
Yeah. It's good. How are you?
I'm all right. Hungry, tired. Not particularly looking forward to it. You?
You've not eaten before the match. You've not had a pre-match meal. You're going to do the watch along without eating.
All I've had is some potato. I had a couple of.
Did you peel or cook the potato first, or
straight raw? No mixing.
Wow, that is particularly manly, actually.
No, we made dinner, but there wasn't enough chicken for me, so I just didn't have any. So I just had potato, but I'm gonna have to make something after. But
hold on,
you
had chicken, but there wasn't enough for you.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Charlie, you being such a romantic, generous man, you said, "Darling, you have the chicken and the potato. Well, I'll just have plain old potato."
Here's the thing. I would take that. I would take that, and I want everyone to internalize that as the actual reasoning why that happened. Okay, I want everyone to internalize that now because that makes me seem great.
Yeah, nice.
The actual situation is that she's obviously been up all day. I have not, and I can eat after this. Where she's probably going to head off to bed. So I'm like, you can have the full thing, and then I'll have something else later. It was more practicality reasoning as opposed to anything else. But I want everyone to internalize the first reasoning because that.
Yeah, I think it's I think you're a generous man. What do you think of the team, Charlie?
There's no choices there, so yeah, it's fine.
What does the poll think of the team?
Well, we asked
I'm
how you
not talking
felt
about Fabianski. Yeah, I mean the poll that you are running.
Well, if I could text him, I would. What a guy! What a guy! But
absolutely.
no idea what he's thinking.
No.
We asked how you felt about the starting 11. There were 4 options. I like it. I love it. I dislike it. I hate it. Simple as, no messing, just bosh, straight down the line. 4% of people said they hated it. 9% of people said they loved it. 20% of people said they disliked it. And 64% of people said they liked it, which is about where I would have suspected it come down on. It's about where I would suspect it come down on. Because it's one of those situations where, like, I don't think you're ever going to get a scenario where everyone loves the lineup this season. I don't think it's just going to happen.
You'll never get 100%.
Oh, not 100%, but you'll never get a majority. I love it.
Oh, a majority loving the lineup.
I don't think you'll ever get that. You'll never get 100% regardless, but I don't think you'll ever get that. And so you look at it, you go, well, what options have you really got today? None in particular. So you just got to like it.
Does YouTube let you run a poll with one answer?
See, I don't actually
know. Like massage the figures. Do you know what I mean?
You can only have a minimum of 2, but you could put the same 2 answers, but you can only have 2 minimum.
What do you think if you could text Lucas Fabianski right now, and he wasn't limbering up or whatever? What do you think he would be thinking now?
How do you think Fabianski feels about the starting 11? We're running another poll.
Okay.
He loves it.
Oh, you are right. Oh, you're not going to answer yourself.
Oh, listen, I'll answer it, but I just want to know what they say. He dislikes it. I've typed that. I've misspelled all of this. Oh, I'm an idiot. There we go. He dislikes it. He loathes it.
Do you know what I've always wanted to try? And I'm going to try it now. You know that device that some people have in their house, and it's without saying the word. So there's like the phone version was Siri, and you might inquire about something. So you might say, what would Lucas Fabianski be thinking right now? I wonder if it would be receptive to a voice coming out of a phone or a TV. So if I were to say right now, Alexa, dim the lights. Have 900 lights just got dimmed?
So do you remember when? When the Xbox One first came out,
right?
They had a camera with it called the Kinect, and it was one of their big things. They were like, everyone's going to have this camera.
Yes.
You can play games doing stuff.
KINNEX.
That's exactly exactly right. And it came out, and there was the whole thing. You could do like voice commands with it. Their whole idea was like you live in the living room, blah 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 blah, all this other stuff. And it wasn't very popular that it came out with it. But the bigger problem was during one of their press conferences when they were discussing all the functionality of it. They would say stuff like Connect, and then do this, do that, and everyone who had a Connect, it would activate it and stop watching the streams, and so they'd miss everything that they would be talking about, and so the view numbers was going down. Just stupid stuff like that. So it definitely works through television. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee
Alexa,
you that.
Set an alarm for 6 a.m.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I apologise for myself. You think how bad it is to know me in real life.
Oh yes, M. Collingwood remembers, mate. I'm Han Solo.
I played one of these things where you was a Jedi and you were doing all that, right?
Yeah.
And then you would do kicking moves and stuff as well in your lounge.
It might have been that one, you know.
I was knackered. I thought it's a great. I can't even whatever. One of the kids had it. Well, it was something. So, maybe it wasn't the kids. Maybe it was me. I don't know. It seemed like a while ago actually. And you had and you'd have to do stuff like that. Use the force. That's it. You had to use the force, and you could do kicks. I'm ninjaing. The lightsaber's going. I'm using the force. I'm elbowing. I'm doing it. I reckon 90 seconds of that of being a Jedi. That's what people don't understand about being a Jedi. People don't notice. You watch it. It's knackering. You watch how you think. I got to say, big respect to Obi-Wan Kenobi, not the Ewan McGregor one, the Sir Alec Guinness one. He was an old geezer. You know, he did really well to hold on against Darth Vader for as long as he did.
Mate, you think about Yoda. He's also got the height disadvantage, and he's flipping around, he's jumping up and down, he's doing all this stuff. It's a lot of effort he's gone through here. It's a lot of effort he's gone through.
He must have been cream crackered, Yoda.
I used to think a lot about my granddad, right? My granddad, up until he passed away in his 80s, would go for a run every morning for several miles.
He was running at 80, was he?
Yeah, absolute madman. And then I'm seeing Yoda, and I'm like, actually, it's not that impressive. It seems quite easy now. Do you know what I mean? Yoda's probably what, a couple of hundred or something like that. I don't know. He looks old. He's doing flips.
Oh, no, I think Yoda's sort of 7, 8. Not I would know. I'm not interested. Obviously not. Yeah, I think he's 700 or 800 years old.
Mate, he's doing just doing.
Someone's going to know.
Like, it's a lot, you know. It's a lot.
Someone's going to know how old Yoda is.
It's not me. No.
Do you think?
Sort of info I
would you? So in today's game, Mikel Antonio, he's knackered after 65 minutes.
Mm.
There's a choice: Calvin Phillips or Yoda. Who you choosing?
I mean, I feel this is the problem.
Mm.
I feel like Yoda would be quite easy to dribble past.
Yes, but also, just be fair, Yoda's got 3 fingers, so he can still stick his middle finger up when he.
Well, there you go. There you go. So he's got the important stuff down. He's got that on lock.
Absolutely.
He's got that ready.
Yoda, you're useless.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Yodas. Obi-Wan.
Useless, I am.
900 says Major.
There you go.
900. Very old.
Major.
Here's the thing, Robert. I'm sorry, everyone. Is using the Force handball?
No, it's not.
Is it some kind of because you're using your hand? Is it some kind of? Is there some sort of is there something in the regulations where you could argue it being wrong?
I would have, if I was Yoda, I would have with the Force. In fact, never mind the Force. No, because if you use the Force, it's hard for the referee or VAR to say it was you.
Listen, I would have thought it was quite easy to not give the penalty against Calvin Phillips as well, and yet somehow they managed that. So I don't really know in this scenario, you know.
Yeah, but Yoda could. Anthony Gordon's leg, I chop off.
Yeah.
Off it goes.
This is not the offside you're looking for. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure. Sure.
If only. But Moyes wouldn't use him.
And out of position.
He would be. He'd get it all wrong. He'd have Darth Vader. He'd try and put Darth Vader in an X-Wing fighter. Even that's all wrong.
But he's got the presence, though. He's got the size that Moyes wants. Do you know what I mean? He's a big guy.
Yes.
You know?
He would. I reckon he'd play Darth up.
Mate, are you telling me he doesn't want?
But he's dominant. Darth and Suchek in central midfield.
Mate, you're telling me he doesn't want a double pivot of Darth and flipping what's his name? What's your man's name? How have I forgotten him? No, Han Solo's buddy.
Oh, Chewbacca.
There we go. Thank you very much. I should have remembered.
But you said man. He's not a man. It's a Wookiee.
Okay, that's a fair. Yeah, all right. You raise a fair point. I think it's because I relate to him. I look at him and I see myself. So I'm like, he is a man. He is a man.
Yeah. You've got a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. He's probably eaten Chewbacca this evening.
You'd imagine he's actually more sensible than I am. Yeah, you'd imagine that.
He's not. He's not giving the chicken to Mrs. Chewbacca and just having a potato. I'm thinking.
I can only respect the movements.
Right, Charlie. I've talking of which, talking of Wookiees, I've got to go and get something to eat. So
Good.
That's segues in there. Have a lovely watch along. I will see everybody for the review afterwards. Keep an eye on your match bingo. Don't forget.
Got them ready. Got them loaded up. £2 a card. Bonus pots today as well involved. So
bonus pot. Oh yes. 2
100s available today. So
yes, 2 100s. That's 200.
It is. So technically, I guess you could potentially win both if you bought two.
I don't know because I think it's a bonus pot. I don't know you can win the main pot and the bonus pot, but you can actually win one line and then the second line. You can do because I know people have won both. Yeah. So yeah. Someone said Gonzo had a chocolate. I wish. I tell you what I do have though. I have a multi-pack of flakes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Got to be refrigerated. You have to. You cannot have a flake out of the cupboard at room temperature. I'm not talking about just summer. I'm talking about now. It's not right. It's not right. Anyway, I'll leave it.
I would agree. I would agree.
Thank you. Right. See you later, everyone. Enjoy the game.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Gonzo there. He'll be back, of course, at full time to do the live match review. But until then, it shall be me and you throughout the entire game. We have, of course, the 90 minutes. We have half time. We have all that nonsense to go through. But before then, let's have a look at the teams in a bit of depth, shall we? I didn't set this up as I usually don't because I'm stupid and silly like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press the button and see what happens. Well, half of it happened. There we go. We're here regardless. West Ham line up as such. Fabianski starts in goal over the injured Areola, with the rest of the team being the same. Sufal, Zuma, Mavropanos, Emerson, Ward-Prowse, Souček, Paquetá, Kudus-Bowen, and Mikel Antonio. Like I said, realistically, what else are we going to do? You know what I mean? What else are we going to do? Fabianski coming in for Areola, given the injury, makes sense. The rest of the team kind of picks itself. You could make an argument for playing, I guess, again over Zuma if you really wanted, but even he's not available today. You could make an argument for Ogbonna, but it's a little less sure than that, so that's one down. You could make an argument for Sufal. I thought he had a really, really poor game. I thought him and Emerson, actually, to be fair, were poor against Newcastle, but I thought Sufal, like, notably had a bit of a mare, especially in the first half. So you could maybe make an argument for Johnson over him. But again, Sufal's been in really good form before then, that kind of stuff. The midfield, you just have no other options, so it has to be those two guys, given the fact that Alvarez is, of course, on suspension, so he can't play. So it has to be those two because it just can't be Phillips. And then the front four is the strongest front four we have, right? So it kind of picks itself ultimately. That's why I'm sort of I like it. I'm fine with it. It's not filling me with joy. It very much is what we should be playing in this game, and it doesn't fill me with a massive amount of confidence when you look at the Spurs team and just when you look at this double pivot, like some of the stuff. But you know, with that front four, we have a chance. And if we've seen with like makeshift lineups before, we can sit tight, we can sit deep. We did it against Arsenal, for example. If we could do it again here, that'd be a beautiful thing. The bench: Anang, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Ings, Johnson, Phillips, Cornet, Mubama, and Earthy. In positional order, that would be Anang, Johnson, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Phillips, Earthy, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. It's just everyone who's fit, isn't it? Realistically. Hey, maybe we get to see Mubama, maybe we get to see Earthy. It's not going to happen, but maybe we get to see those. Outside of it, it's just everyone that's fit. It becomes a difficult conversation to have. The Spurs lineup: Vicario starts in goal with Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, and Udogie at the back. Basuma and Bentancur come in with Maddison. Johnson starts alongside Werner and Son up front. It's very fast front three there. It's a good side, isn't it? It's a really good side. And I think their style, their tactics aren't going to suit us today. When you look at that double pivot in midfield, I obviously trust Thomas Souček, but James Ward-Prowse is a little bit all over the shop, but it's not exactly a press-resistant midfield. Souček's not going to be able to turn a man. James Ward-Prowse, that's not really his bag, especially deep. I don't know. The pressing concerns me. And then if you can get in behind, if Sufal and Emerson have a similar defensive game to what they had last time, it's very concerning. It's very concerning. But you look at that front four, I think you can get at these guys. Don't get me wrong, they're really good. Romero, Van de Ven, really good. Udogie, really good. Pedro Porro, really good. But I do think even on our day, we can take out these sort of players. We 100% can. It's just about, can we get the ball to them in decent enough positions, and can we find any sort of rhythm to our game, which we did find for a lot of the Newcastle game, but obviously defensively we were all over the shop. And then at the end, we obviously completely crumbled. Can we do it again? I think it's possible. Their bench: Austin, Royal, Dragusin, Davis, Højbjerg, Sarr, Lo Celso, Kulusevski, and Richarlison. So that is the lineup. Oh, it's done it this time. What time's be live? That is the lineup as they are in the team. Thank you very much to Fleischer for the $4.99. Who do you fear most on a Spurs 11? For me, it's Van de Ven. The kid is lightning. He is very, 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 very fast. You're not wrong about that. Fear is an interesting way to word it. I'm looking at it now. I mean, Son is just, I can't not be terrified of him. It depends on where It depends on where he is. If he's down the middle, it becomes a very big problem, but we may be less effective there. However, if you're playing him sort of in the... If you play him in the wide positions, then 1v1 against Sufal. I've seen Sufal do well against him. I've seen Sufal do poor against him. That's probably the big one. That's probably the big one. It has to be Son, really. Although, if you're looking for outside shouts as opposed to the obvious guy, Pedro Porro, maybe. I feel like he might get a lot of joy down that side. Pedro Porro getting up and down the right, up against Emerson and Kudus probably. That's a bit concerning to me. That's a bit concerning to me. For example, AS saying Udogie causes problems, but on the flip side, DC saying is there to be got at. And it's that kind of feeling that we have with Emerson as well. Emerson's going to cause them problems, but he's also going to be there to be got at because his defensive positioning's just never been the best. And that was something that was frustrating me a little bit against Newcastle. He was just a little bit all over the shop with that kind of stuff. And when he's going to be having to recover against such pace, it becomes a bit of a problem. But equally, you could say the same for Udogie as well. He's going to get forward, he's going to get into decent positions, but at the same time, he's going to have to drop back. He's going to have to try and find those sort of joy spaces. It's just not really. It's just not. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting battle. Let's say it. Let's put it that way. Richard says it'd be interesting to see how Spurs centre backs handle Antonio. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you look at what were they by? Thank you very much to Cox who donated before. Both your names in the top corner. Yeah, I think you want to get tight to him. You want to get sort of you want to really get physical with Mikel Antonio. And sort of minimize his opportunity to spin, essentially. Whether or not they do that, we'll see. That's how I feel like, for example, when you look at when we faced Liverpool and they had Konate, who was just on him, completely nullified him. I think that's probably the best way of dealing with it. And I think with Van de Ven specifically, and Romero's not exactly slow either, but with Van de Ven specifically, because he is so fast, you could probably afford to get touch tight to him. And then if somehow Mikel Antonio does spin, you can get back into position quick enough because we will be attacking from a deeper area. They're going to be higher up the pitch. They're going to have that time to recover. Unlike what we've seen with Agerd recently, for example, when he makes a mistake, he doesn't have the time to get back because we just play deeper and that's just not what he does. So that pace of his doesn't really come into play and he just makes so many mistakes that it just becomes a big problem for us. With Spurs, they're going to be higher up the field. We're going to be deeper in the field. It should, in theory, give them time to be able to sort of recover in that sense. It'd be interesting to see. Chuck, good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Thank you. My sleeping pattern, all over the shop, but I am feeling better. Thankfully. Was not fun. It was not fun. But you know, we move. We need to exploit their ridiculously high line. Yeah, exactly, Trini. And I think that's a big thing. One of the things when I was watching the Newcastle game from the toilet was when Paquetá played the ball through to Antonio for the goal. It's just so abundantly clear. It's like you play a high line against us at your own risk. You know, when Paquetá is on the field, if you want to take that risk, you can take that risk. But I wouldn't do it if I were you because that guy can just play one simple pass and Mikel Antonio will get him behind. I feel like we need to see that again today. That kind of vibe. Because realistically, we can take advantage of it. We saw it against Newcastle. We can take advantage of that stuff. It was the other end that's causing us constant problems. But you put it in that position. You give Paquetá a bit of space to wander potentially into the centre of the park. From the left-hand side where he's going to get a bit more space, be able to control the ball, find a bit of space, and then ping it over the top, dink it over the top. It's very, very effective. It's very, very effective. Let's go. I'll tell you what, with 5 minutes till kickoff, let's go straight to score predictions. What are your score predictions? Lob them in the chat. We've spoken about both teams. We've spoken about the subs bench. We've spoken about the tactics. We've spoken about it for over an hour at this point. Well, an hour at this point. So, hey, how do you feel? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know in the live chat. Drop them in and we'll go through them momentarily. No more sitting on the fence. Let's lock those bad boys in. I was just watching some of the other things going on my screen. There is, of course, on TNT Sports 1 this evening. TNT Sports have 3 games. So if you're in the UK, it is live there. However, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. If you scroll down into the link in the description below, there's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Lovely Hammers Chat, West Ham community. Fans of all clubs are welcome. But more importantly, if you scroll down on the left-hand side, there's a bit there called Stream Links in which you will find what you're looking for. Let's have a look at some of these score predictions, shall we? Right, Finn says 2-1. Good to see you, Finn. Keith says 3-1 loss. So 2-1 to West Ham. You love to see it. Ashley gone with a 2-2. Rodman's gone with 3-1. 3-1 West Ham. 2-1 West Ham. 2-1 not to us, says Stephen. 3-1 loss. And another Moyes Masterclass says DC. Finn's also lobbing in 9-0. Why not hedge your bets on it? Why not? 2-2, 3-2, 5-0 to Spurs. 2-1 to the Mighty Hammers. Could have scored at least one. Trini's gone with 2-2. I think 2-1 Spurs misses, thinks 2-2. Well, for your... I agree with your misses. Well, I hope to agree with your misses. I actually think we're going to lose. But I'm feeling the vibes. 2-0 says SpongeBob Bob. 2-2. Antonio to score first. 2-1 to Tottenham with extra time. 3-1 and I'm sitting on the roof. Big respect it. In this kind of weather, feels like a vibe. Although it might not be as rainy where you are as it is at the London Stadium, which I'm looking down and is there was rain involved. I'll tell you that much. There was rain involved. 2-1, 5-4, carnage. 2-2, says Jack, being optimistic. 3-1. Alex has gone with 48-13. You'll have to see it. 3-1, not sure which way. Says Graham. 2-2, best case, no Alvarez Areola equals no W. Says just a yank. Yeah, of course. I didn't even put that together. Of course. Lucky enough to go. 3-3, 3-2, 3-1. It's an interesting mix. I will say that. I feel like I really don't know which way this is going to go. If I'm being honest, I have no clue which way this is going to go. My gut says we'll lose. I just without Alvarez is the big one for me. You take out Alvarez, just that midfield becomes a lot more of a problem for us. And I feel like against a team like Spurs, we're going to push it and press it. It just worries me. Having said that, if you said we squeak out a win here, I would 100% believe you. And actually, I think a lot of people have felt that way. Like Gonzo was saying earlier, you look at the Matchday Morning video, you look at some of the preview, like there's more confidence about this than you think there would be. Given it's a difficult match, big team, Spurs are good as well. You know, it feels like one where there would be less confidence, and yet something in the back of our minds, I think because it is Tottenham, just sort of goes, maybe there is a win in there. I can't see it. My head is saying that it's just not going to happen, but my heart is hoping for some sort of specialty to come out. This lucky you. What madness. Just looking at my match bingo, of course. Link is in the description below. Oh, I've got all this still up. Hang on. There we go. Vibes. I've still got that. But I'm looking at my match bingo. The big one for me looks like, if I'm looking for that 100, the big one for me is a goal on a minute ending in 8. It seems to be. Maybe 3 as well. There's some easy ones in there. For example, kickoff. West Ham getting a kickoff. That's going to happen at some point. That's an easy dub for me. Where else are we at? Spurs attempt off target. That feels really likely as well. There's some easy ones in there. I'm looking at that goal happening on the 8th minute. That's the big one for me. But match bingo, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the game. Course link is in the description below. £2 of cards. There's a bonus pot today as well as the usual 25, 50 and £100 prizes. There's also a bonus one extra £100 available. So hopefully I can get one of those. Because as Gio said, and you all heard it when we did it on that stream. I can't remember which stream it was. He said, if I win, I get to keep the money. Not Hammers chat. Or it gets remodeled, I get to keep it. So, you know. Bubbles. Playing in the background as we are about to kick off at the London Stadium. 3-2 to West Ham. 3-1. I don't feel good about this game, says Rancid. It's okay for both attack and run right tonight. Yeah, I strongly agree. I very, very strongly agree. Moyes class, masterclass 2-0, then low block 5-2. Yeah. I listen, if we get 2-0 up, then I'm going to be buzzing. I can't act like I'm not. West Ham United versus Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League is about to kick off. Spurs are the ones who are going to take kickoff. We've got 90 minutes ahead of us plus half time. So thank you all for joining. We're underway. Come on, you irons. Deploy the boys. Time to run 2 things. Massively, massively appreciate it. Pressing earliest Spurs, trying to play their way through the middle. Like I said, I'm going to be really... Zuma very, very far forward there. We cut it out. Emerson cuts it out nicely, but Zuma incredible. And Zuma with a little dummy as well. Look at him. Look at him. Balling out of control. And Thomas Suchek with his space pass. You love to see it. It's got everything you need. You know? Zuma being unnecessarily high. You know? You've got him doing a little dummy to trick the player so the ball gets through to Suchek. Him missing place of quite a simple pass. It's got all the vibes. It's got all the vibes. Can we sneak Alvarez on in a Phillips jersey? Listen, D. I don't know. I feel like with VAR we wouldn't get away for it, but I'll be honest with you. I'm all for trying. I'm all for trying. Why not? Give it a shot. Fair. I don't think you do, Rude Geek. I don't think you do. Gio's one. Lots of people, to be fair, I don't know if anyone in this live chat has, but lots of Hammers chat people have won. But Gio has. If he was here and not at the game, then he'd be able to tell you. That's what I'm talking about, Artel. That's what I'm talking about. You love to see it. You love to see it. Spurs passing it around amongst their defenders and goalkeeper at the moment. West Ham just cutting out the passing lanes quite nicely. Mikel Antonio just sort of standing off. I always love to see it, you know, when you step up to try and cross out those passing lanes and just the opposition just stands still and don't really know what to do. I always love that moment. It means what you're doing is working. And I know, like, you want to press, you want to run in it nicely done by Thomas Suchek to slide in there and get the interception to Jarrod Bowen. Can't get the turn. He cuts himself off there. Paquetá in the middle, sort of drifting over to that right-hand side to try and help him out. Doesn't quite work out. Nice bit of defending, though, in the middle when we get the ball back. You know, you want to see people press on them. You want to see them nip the ball away. But actually, that moment where they're just stood still means what you're doing is working. I quite like that. There's always a moment where you go, yeah, we got this. And the problem is we never keep up with that. But the early stages when it happens, it's always fun. Soufal, nice header on there to Jarrod Bowen. Tries to back heel to Soufal. It's not a great pass, but it's not a great pass. Mikel Antonio managed to get the control of the ball, but the control was awful. And Spurs come away with it. Maddison out wide to Werner, who's starting on the left-hand side. Paquetá dribbles past him and then gets taken out by Maddison. It's going to be a free kick on the halfway line. FPB. Good to see you, sir. How are you? Yeah, thankfully I am. Was a stressed couple of days, but we're back at it. And we're moving and we're grooving. Is how I'm going to say that. Credis does really well there to nip the ball away from Pedro Porro wide. Puts the ball across. Oh, Jarrod Bowen. It's a good opportunity for Jarrod Bowen. Mikel Antonio looks at him, just sort of one of those as well, who gets a little bit in the way. It's nice pressing from Kudus, just again activating off that little bit of an awkward pass across the back. Porro nips the ball off him, drives. The cross comes in. It doesn't quite work out. Mikel Antonio, maybe, I can't tell, maybe getting a mild touch to it. Trying to spin round. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do, reaching out his leg backwards in that way anyway. And Jarrod Bowen can't get the connection he wants. It goes wide. Close. Very, very close. Very close. Waste opportunity. Big time. Yeah, he's just doing good stuff. Just doing good stuff. Hope you well, Liam. Deploy the boys again. Keep deploying them. You know? Why not? Just keep deploying. Maddison on the turn against Thomas Suchek, pushing a little bit. No, not Thomas Suchek. That's James Ward-Prowse pushing further forwards. Udogie plays it across. Spurs lining up here a little bit. Wide on to Werner on the left-hand side. Pulls it across. Brennan Johnson, 1-0. You just can't let people inside like that. You just cannot let people inside like that. Spurs 1-0 up within 5 minutes. You just can't let them inside like that. James Ward-Prowse gets caught very far forward with the press. Gets taken around. And at that point, we're sort of on the back foot constantly. Spurs playing the ball around relatively quickly. Moving with pace, not only through the lines, but amongst each other. going wide, going central, Doggy charging their way in, playing it forward to Maddison, back out wide to Werner, who cuts on the... when he gets the ball in, it's not that we're in necessarily that bad a position, but you can't let him get to the byline like that, and he's almost in the 6-yard box by the time he plays it across anyway. And you just... How Brennan Johnson has that amount of space in the 6-yard box, and Zuma's not... just awful. He comes from behind Emerson, who doesn't really know he's there. Zuma should be there. Panos should be there. It's 1-0. Bad defending again. Bad defending again. It's 1-0. Anyway. 1-0. We go again. We go again. Paquetá, nice little loft across to Kudus. Nice control, tried to take on Pedro Porro, who does well there, but James Ward-Prowse instantly gets involved, wins that ball back. You love to see it. James Ward-Prowse pinging it across. It's a nice ball across to Vladimir Sufal, to be honest. Gets the control. Werner's up against him, trying to physically manhandle him. Gonna be a corner. We take that. We take that. Really poor defending there. Really poor defending. Not quite over how Brennan Johnson gets in there to tap it in the 6-yard box in an open goal where there's just no one there. Whipped in. Ooh, Vicario comes out to try and punch it, and Kudus can't quite convert it. It takes a big old deflection of someone. It's going to be another corner. It's going to be another corner. Kudus trying to flick it towards. Yeah, it takes a big deflection off Romero. Here goes. Corner. Once again, Jared Bowen whipping it in. Again, interesting we're going for the in-swingers now from that side. We're not going for James Ward-Prowse on the outswing. Emerson, short, wide to Kudus. Antonio, back out wide to Emerson. Trying to find a bit of movement in and around there. I want to see Antonio getting in the centre, but we do have Thomas Suchik in there, to be fair. Nice quick throw into Mohamed Kudus, who tries to play it across, can't get the connection on it, maybe takes a deflection. But good pressing. Very good pressing. Doggy manages to try and get out of it, but the ball lands at the feet of Emerson. Oh, nice turn from Mikel Antonio. Goes down. West Ham regain possession of the ball regardless of the pen shout. Offside against Kudus. Mikel Antonio does really well. Doggy comes in. I have to try and remain calm after what happened against Newcastle and the penalties we got there, and I have to look at it like logistically and just say that probably was not a penalty. You know, even though in the back of my mind I'm like, well, Phillips was a penalty, but I have to say it. You know what I mean? In the same way that before, maybe not a handball, even though it hits Romero's hand, that stuff. To be fair, I only have one. There's only one bell available, unfortunately. So I can only have one. Do you know what I mean, Brent? I like it. You know, Jack and Cal on the Waste Time Breakdown on LSCI call him the Vortex of Chaos. I quite like it. I like watching him dribble because even he doesn't know what he's going to do with the ball. You know, it used to really annoy me, but now I live for it. Spurs shot from range from Porro goes wide. Thankfully. I used to hate it. I used to hate watching it. Now I'm all about it. You know, just watching him do whatever the hell he's doing, I'm fine with it. It's a well hit shot from Porro, but it was always going wide. Again, that pressing is going to become necessary to be faster than we usually are today. Good pass forward from Mavropanos to Bowen. Throw in. About on the halfway line. Yeah, I just saw that pop as well. More Gibbs White getting a goal. sir. How are you? If you haven't listened to Risky and Ridicule, what are you doing? Get in there. How are you? Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're good. Yeah, I know what you mean, Lynn. His positioning for that. I mean, his drop off this season has been monumental. It's really concerning to watch. Even for that, it's just how is he not blocking that? How are we so? How I mean, I hate pullbacks. Pullbacks are our biggest weakness. They always have been, but just like that feels like he should get involved. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Romero hooks it away. Souček getting involved in the press, and Paquetá's the furthest midfielder back now. Wide on the right-hand side for Son. Tries to lay it inwards for Maddison through the middle. Paquetá gets involved. Takes it past him nicely. Good work from Lucas Paquetá there. The fact it was a poor pass, though. Curtis manages to just nip the ball back out away. And we take the throw in. We take the throw in. Paquetá having to do a lot of work there. A lot of work. Fabianski. Big bit forward. Nodded on. Got a lot of Ange out now. I do. I do. Listen, don't get me wrong. It's a difficult thing to say right now. Especially right now, this second. But I do. I love him. I can't lie. Moyes in a cap is just a mad look, you know? You'd think... I mean, maybe he doesn't... I don't know. I don't know. I would have thought he would just deal with the rain. Ball across from Spurs. There's no one there, and Soufal can easily collect that one. Werner getting the press on him. The clearance takes a deflection off him, and Doggy picks up the ball. Maddison playing it in to Son, who tries to whip it in the far side, but it's an easy collection from Fabianski. A routine save. A routine save. It's a poor game from us so far. We've had a few flashes going forward, as you would expect with the front four. We've had a few flashes, but it's not really been too consistent in the opening 13 minutes. And defensively, we're just not looking like we're coping with it right now. We want to be able to get into decent positions for us, but they come at you so fast that you're almost just getting in a position so you're in a position. And that ends up being so tight and so deep that it's just not really... It's not helping. They're getting consistent touches in the box. And not only in the box, in dangerous areas in the box. Think over the top, looking for Jarrod Bowen, can't quite find it. And again, that early miss from Jarrod Bowen, replaying him in the back of my mind again. Yeah, I mean, listen, are we? Yes. Is it what everyone wants? No. It's just where we're at. Just where we're at. Souček trying to nip in there, can't quite get there. Doggy's very high and very central. Out wide to Timo Werner again, wide on the left-hand side, takes on Soufal, beats him, deflects off, I think Mavropanos gets the touch and then deflects off a Spurs player. Thomas Souček under some pressure, just clear that one. It's not what I want, but it's what we need at this moment, just clear it. Those overloads, man, in the center are just going to kill us right now. They're just going to kill us. Only serves to make us more compact than we need to be. Just so squished. Not even compact, just so squished. Perhaps Tipster, it's on it's on TNT Sports 1 in the UK. If you're looking for a way to do it, there are other ways of doing it. But yeah, like just so squished in there as opposed to compact, because you have the fullbacks like Udogi, for example, really getting central. And then Timo Werner just sort of hangs out in this massive space wide. And then because of Udogi coming through the middle and that overload that they have in the middle, we're getting in really small, tight spaces, and that just gives Timo Werner so much space to get into the box so easily. And don't get me wrong, it's not in necessarily... It's positions that we maybe should be able to deal with, but realistically, we're just not right now. We're just not dealing with him at all. There you go again, Timo Werner playing it inwards to Udogi, who's on the invert. Paquetá, nice 50-50 challenge there. Udogi managed... Oh, okay, apparently that's a foul. Apparently that's a foul. Paquetá came in. Yeah, I don't think that's a foul. I don't understand 50-50s anymore. I'll be honest with you, I don't understand them anymore. What was the difference between what Paquetá just did with Udogi and what Udogi did with Antonio? I don't really understand the difference. If it's 50-50, it's 50-50, no? Just because the player who's on the ball knows someone's coming in and turns their back, so when they go to do 50-50, it hits their back first, doesn't not make it a 50-50 challenge, it just means they've turned their back. So I don't really understand how that works anymore, but, you know, it's where we're at. It's where we're at. James Madison's take the free kick wide on the left-hand side, like a deep corner. Headed away from Paquetá. Kudus trying to nip in there. He's putting him under pressure. The follow-up from James Ward-Prowse gets involved. Kudus jumping for it. A bit of battling in the midfield. Spurs come away with it. Udogi finds Timo Werner. Pass bounces off Vladimir Sufal. It's going to be a throw-in. Yeah, we're just not dealing with this at all right now. It's different. It feels very different, and I don't know whether it's because of the collapse against Newcastle or something. But usually, you guys know I'm relatively calm when I watch these things. I'm relatively calm, right? And it's not like I'm amped up or anything. But even when teams are coming at us, I go, "Nah, we've got this. Nah, we deal with this. It's fine." There's something about the way the teams are playing and is playing out right now, which is really worrying me. No, we just don't seem to be able to deal with it. And I mean, again, you've got that position. You just have no one to partner Thomas Souček, and there needs to be someone in there. And we just don't have it. Calvin Phillips should be that guy, but he's just not reliable. You just can't play him. And so at that stage, you just got to play Ward-Prowse, and it's just not happening. It's just no one to play in that position. And it's so important. Nice interception there from Mavropanos, who'd gone very far forward, but it's a nice interception, and he maintains it with the play pass to Kudus. I want to give Paquetá the credit there and say that was a dummy. I think he just bugged it a little bit, but that's fine. Jared Bowen does well to get to the line, whips the ball, and it's going to be a corner. It's going to be a corner. Yeah, I don't know. Something about it's worrying me right now. There's just no options, JB, for James Ward-Prowse. There's just literally no options. I don't know what else to say. It's really annoying. Third corner of the match about to be taken from Bowen. It's really frustrating. Whipped in. Zuma! Oh, 1-1. We take that. We take that. It's as easy as you like. It's a corner. It's straight in there. We managed to get up the other end of the pitch with a little bit. Jared Bowen takes it on the outside, wins the corner. He whips it in. Kurt Zuma with a header. We take that. It's been all Spurs. But all you need is those one chances. We're happy with it. We move. We vibe. Kurt Zuma, 1-1. Easy as you like. Look at David Moyes jogging around with the little cap on. Jared Bowen, again with the in-swinger from the right-hand side, as opposed to James Ward-Prowse coming over and taking it. Puts it into a dangerous position. Do you feel like someone should have dealt with that? It's good movement from him. It's good movement. He comes from behind the defender, puts himself in front of Bissouma. Antonio was there preoccupying Vicario as well as the centre backs, and he just almost bounces off the back of his head like here. He sort of hits one of them. Listen, we take that. Kurt Zuma 1-1. No complaints. Let's just keep farming these corners. Because if they're going to defend them like that, let's just keep farming them. tier list Moyes outfits. Don't tempt me with a good time. I feel like almost all of them are the same, but the minute differences are massive. Like the hat is a game changer. The hat is a game changer. James Ward-Prowse trying to play it out. Doesn't quite work out. Deflection. It's going to be a West Ham throw-in. Listen. It's not ideal, but if we could just keep farming these, then I'm fine with it. That Tony Pulis hat. Big Tony Pulis vibes. Huge Tony Pulis vibes. Big boot forward. Mikel Antonio can't quite get control. Spurs passing it around. Good tackle there from Thomas Souček. Paquetá. With Bentancur just getting in there, just holding him off a little bit. And usually I would be fine with that, but in those sort of positions, it just gave Spurs enough time to come back. Ball forward for Mikel Antonio, who definitely handballed that. There is no way Mikel Antonio did not handball that. Ball gets played forward into him. He gets the chest nicely, but then as he falls down, he full on just reaches out his arm to stop the ball. You can't act like it wasn't. Yeah, that's something I'm going to be interested to see how that one plays out with Paquetá, because usually when he comes in and he drops and he picks up the ball and people come towards him, that sort of encourages the press from the opposition, and that's a really, really nice thing for us. But today, that time specifically, he picked up the ball, he had it, he was holding off the defender, and all the Spurs players, instead of going for the press, ended up just moving back into their positions, and it just slowed us down that little bit more. And that's kind of something we need to avoid. If possible. Maybe when we're in our own half doing it, it will be different and Spurs will actually press a little bit further. But certainly when he was doing it in their half, it wasn't really affecting in the way we'd want it to be. Romero plays it forward. Spurs passing it around now. Relatively good positions here as Spurs try to pass their way forward. They've just crossed over the halfway line. You got that 4-1-4-1 sort of defensive structure. Thomas Souček being the one who's sort of sitting deeper again. You'd much rather that be Alvarez, but Thomas Souček's the only guy who can do it right now. Good pressing enough to force Spurs back. Back over the halfway line, passing it amongst the centre-backs again. Pass central was a bit easier. Kudos does really nicely to just hold that one off to spin. Mavropanos. Paquetá, nice, dropping deep there, gets involved, finds Soufal. Not enough space for him to really charge forward, but the ball to Bowen is beautiful. Love that. That's a free kick. Surely that's a free kick. Jarrod Bowen just pushed by Mickey van der Ven. I do not understand what 50-50s are anymore. I just don't get it. That time, Mickey van der Ven seems to just push him over, and somehow that's not a foul. I don't understand. I don't get it. There should be a free kick. No, I'm not sure. I've missed it, to be honest. I've got no idea. That's an excellent point. I didn't even think about it, Darren. Thank you for reminding me. Holy, someone's already 125. Fair play to them. I'm incredibly close. If there's a yellow card on a minute ending 6, Jarrod Bowen going down under the challenge of Basuma again there, then I'll have got a line. Someone's already claimed it, but I would have got a line there. What about this one? 4 minutes of injury time. Would have got a line there. Yeah, Basuma just hacks down Jarrod Bowen from behind. That's an easy free kick. But congratulations if you're someone in the chat who has it. So you can see I'm doing all right. Didn't even think about it. Antonio gets the ball. Tries to play his way inwards. Can't take the ball past Pedro Porro. Spurs passing it out nicely, but intercepted by Kurt Zuma. Kudus first touch to Paquetá. Tries to dribble his way through it. It doesn't work out, but Bowen ends up getting there. Ooh, Vicario. Souček plays it into Kudus. Nice, or I think it was James Ward-Prowse maybe. Nice pass. First time to Paquetá. Can't dribble his way through. Maybe a bit off more than he could chew. But it lands at the feet of Jarrod Bowen, who almost manages to drive through and get a shot off at goal. Ends up deflecting off a bunch of people, and Vicario just about manages to stop it. Tell you what, Mavropanos putting his head down low there. Emerson getting back nicely. And we can go forward. Nicely done from us. Good spin from Kudus. Nice ball through to Jarrod Bowen, who's getting joy. I tell you what, whoever said, I can't remember who it was, but whoever said doggy there to be got at. I tell you what, I'm looking at Jarrod Bowen right now, and he's causing them problems. He's drifting central. Mikel Antonio's getting a little bit deeper. He's getting a little bit deeper. Paquetá gets a little bit deeper involved in sort of build-up play and pushing and all that. And Jarrod Bowen just maintains that high line, just in round the back, and we're finding those consistent balls towards him, and he's causing them problems. He won the corner. He got the assist for the corner as well. I really like that. Mikel Antonio currently covering wide on the right-hand side, as Jarrod Bowen is still up front, as Spurs are passing around just on the outside of the box. Well, I say just on the outside of the box, but a bit further now. Who scored for us? It was Kurt Zuma. Kurt Zuma scored for us. Irons. There we go. Porro trying to charge through and Mavropanos as well, just to clear that one away. Spurs sort of opened up like the Red Sea for them in the middle and charged through the centre, and Mavropanos strides across and just punts it clear. I do. Not super consistently, but I do. Fulham getting one back, 3-1. I love it. I don't think I'm good at it, but I love it. I love it. Emerson just completely falling over. Nice stuff there from Thomas Souček, collecting that one and clearing it up the pitch after Emerson fell over. It isn't raining at this point. They're taking a collective shower. It kind of feels that way. Maddison plays it out wide. Woods back across from Johnson. Good block there from Kurt Zuma. Ooh, bit of Red Dead. I respect it. I hope you're well, bro. How'd the first goal happen? So theirs was James Ward-Prowse gets spun in the midfield by Maddison. Cross in. Fabianski punches it away. It was a scary cross. They end up spinning and going down the line. Werner takes on Soufal, beats him to the touchline, pings it across with a low drive, and Brennan Johnson in the centre basically touches it into the net from a free shot and goal. Ours was a corner from the right hand side. Jarrod Bowen in swinger, and Kurt Zuma gets his head onto it. Inverted or inside forward? Usually inverted. It depends the vibe I'm looking for. It also depends on if I'm playing a West Ham season, for example, early on. If I'm playing a West Ham season early on, then sometimes Paquetá is ending up on that left hand side, and you're looking at sort of a wide playmaker type thing going on. But it depends. It depends on who's around. I'm deep in a FIFA season at the moment, so that's currently what's going on in my brain is FIFA. But yeah, cleared away from Kurt Zuma. Bowen and Antonio have switched back round now. Antonio back into that forward position. Jarrod Bowen on the right. Saw a moment there where Mikel Antonio almost managed to drive forward, but couldn't get the ball around a doggy. Again, good cutting out the passing lanes from us. Just those moments where Spurs just stand still and don't really know what to do with the ball. That's where we want. That's what we want. Kurt Zuma gets involved. No foul, says the referee. I would have expected him to give that for some reason. Because he gave that one against Kudus somehow. Okay, sure. Whatever. It's very true, Ben. It's very true. It's a great video about that somewhere. It's a great video about that. Something whipped across. Ooh, Jesus Christ! Brennan Johnson gets away from his man and whips it across, and Werner was there, couldn't get on the end of it. All of a sudden, just what happened there? Pedro Porro collects the ball, lays it into Brennan Johnson. That was scary there. Just almost the exact opposite of what happened on the opposite side. Pulling it across, and Werner just couldn't quite capitalise on it. See, look at that. But Ange, no fear. He's got no hat. He's not stressed about it. I am. Ooh, Van de Ven plays it back to Vicario. Played around. James Ward-Prowse to the press. That's a poor pass inwards, but I think they're going to get away with this one, Spurs. They managed to just about play away from it. It was nice pressing. Close. Ball round the back looking for Son. I tell you what, Zuma does very well with that one. Very well with that one. Yes, I am very hyped for it. I'm trying to decide whether to do stuff on my wrestling channel. I want to start it again. It's just a case of whether I do it this week or next week, really. Because I actually have a bit of time to deal with it. And I'm good. My sleeping pattern's awful, so I'm going to be up all night. So I might end up doing a watch along for it. I'm not certain on WHUTOT Mark, my wrestling channel, which exists. It feels like every WrestleMania for a watch long, and that's about it. So we'll see. I am really looking forward to it, though. Stream Mania? Yeah, all right. I'll be live streaming WrestleMania on my channel, WHUTOT Mark. Get involved. Whether I do anything before then, who knows? We'll find out. Half an hour in, it's not been as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not lately, Mark. You are not wrong, Stevie B. You're not wrong. Yeah. It's not been as bad as I thought it was going to be. We've managed to sort of cut it down a little bit. And we've managed to find sort of a way of getting forward and a way of attacking. It's not consistent enough. And I still feel like, pardon me, so much went big wild there. I still feel like we're sort of stretched in a way I'm not really enjoying. But, that's what she said. But I feel like there is at least something here, a nugget of something. It's just not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's also I also feel like it's probably, I don't know. Maddison picking up the ball deep. Possession in the last 5 minutes is 91% for Spurs. I mean, they've done nothing with it. How many shots have they had in the last 5 minutes? You know? Nice ball out wide from Maddison. Ball across. Ooh, Son. It was behind him. Fabianski collects. Fabianski rolls it to himself and then plays it long. Oh, look at that. You just love to see it. Areola's having a wonderful season, and I love Areola as a goalkeeper, but his long distribution is woeful. And so whenever Fabianski plays, just watching him take accurate long kicks is so nice. It's just so nice. Good interception there from Kudus. Tried to play it into the path of Paquetá. Couldn't quite do it. Paquetá with a nice interception though, and a bounce back. Here we go. Plays it in. I tell you what, Mikel Antonio's gone down in the centre. So does Bowen. I've noticed recently, that's a double foul there. That's going to be a free kick to us. And potentially, it's a James Ward-Prowse moment. Free kick in a decent-ish position. Played forward by Lucas Paquetá. First of all, Mikel Antonio gets tripped over. That was a mistake, I think, from Van de Ven. Bowen controls it. And he just nips in there, Romero. It's dangerously. Dangerously. And it's going to be a free kick. I think we're in a decent position here for James Ward-Prowse to maybe take a shot, maybe a bit far away. Maybe a bit far away. It's rare. I don't know how many of these he's getting a month. It feels like one max, if that. But yeah, I feel like I've noticed recently some teams that just tend to be a bit more bitey against us, let's say. You know? Knowing that the counter-attack is strong, just get in there, take those professional fouls. It feels more notable to me over the last couple of weeks. Last month. I don't know why. I don't know whether teams are doing it more to us or what, I'm not sure. Paquetá is standing over it as well. James Ward-Prowse is there. You'd imagine James Ward-Prowse is going to go for it, although it could just be slightly too far away from it. Both him and Paquetá are standing over it. You imagine it's maybe slightly too far away. Although it's in range. James Ward-Prowse hits it. Vicario makes the save. It's on target. It's on target. I feel like Vicario maybe should have caught that one. I'm not going to lie. Seemed a bit easier. A bit easier. And the dip is nice. The dip is nice, and actually looking at it, I think Vicario does the best he probably could. I think Vicario did the best he could. I didn't realise it dipped so much from the angle. See what I mean? I mean, like, if you're looking at it from perspective, right, too wet to catch, I think it's that, but also it dips quite last second, right? So it's like going here and then it's like woof like that. And so at that point, it's quite difficult. It's quite hard to catch, quite difficult. The best thing you can do is just hit it as far away as possible, and Vicario does that, right? Yeah, I mean, look, we're 30-something into the game, right? Obviously, there was that stat a little while back where it was like the last 5 minutes they'd had 90-odd% possession. What have they had to overall so far? They've had 72% possession. We've both had 4 shots. You know, it's one of those things where you can have all the possession, but it's like, what are you creating with it right now? Mikel Antonio shoved down. He wins a throw, and he's asking for a free kick. And again, I don't understand. I don't understand how 50-50s work anymore. I just don't. But it's going to be a throw to us anyway. Soufal to take it. Thank you very much, because it's very kind of you. Punch my microphone while I did it, but thank you very much, because it's very kind of you to say. I mean, listen, I wouldn't say many positive things about me in general in life, but if you're comparing me to Robbie Savage, I've got to take the dub on that one, surely. Surely. Long throw from Soufal. I don't mind him in other scenarios, but as a commentator, it's a big no for me. Emerson out wide to Kudus. It's a terrible ball. Bowen collects on the far side. He can. And he wins a corner. We'll take it. We'll take it. It was an awful cross from Kudus. He overhits it massively. Bowen manages to get the control down and he wins the corner. Another in-swinger for Zuma. You can hear the crowd talking about Zuma. Souček's getting in there. Mikel Antonio once again standing on Vicario. Maddison's come across to try and stop it. But Maddison has instantly been distracted. Zuma runs around the back. It's over the top. Ooh, Mavropanos was there. Couldn't quite get there to head her away from the corner. Kudus picks it up on the far side with Emerson. Played in again from Paquetá. Doesn't quite work out. James Ward-Prowse ball once again out to Jarrod Bowen. Takes deflection. Another corner. Yep, another corner. We'll take that. We'll take that. Let's just keep farming these corners. Let's just keep farming these corners. They don't seem that good at defending them. It feels like only a matter of time before we get another. Let's just keep farming them. Keep farming them. Yeah, I'm all right now. Yeah, it was food poisoning last game, so it was a fun couple of days. But now I'm good. Now I'm good. It's completely wrecked my sleeping bag, but now I'm good. Bowen whips it in. Vicario comes out, gets a hand to it. Mavropanos and Zuma were both lurking. That's beautiful defensing from Mavropanos there to get back on the doggy. Catches up to him, nips the ball away. Spurs trying to counter-attack still. And Paquetá does really well to get back on Brennan Johnson as well. Beautiful pair of defending there from him and Mavropanos. So nice. Soufal a little bit under pressure there. Finds Thomas Souček, played out quickly to Emerson. It's nice. Good defending. Good defending. Bit of pressure from me. Sumo. We'll take that as a free kick. We take that. We take that. Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Appreciate you asking. I was, yeah, when the build up was happening for the last one, I may have. I was, yeah. it was a couple of days of stress and not much sleeping. I think over those 2 days, I probably had like it was like 2 hours sleep in like half an hour chunks over the course of like 2 days. It was bad. It was very bad. Kudus out wide to Emerson. Kudus comes back on side, found by Emerson, looks to cross, and we get another corner. We get another corner. Come on. This time it's going to be James Ward-Prowse. You suspect in-swinger. That is a problem because it will be in the exact same position it's always in. Stress. But hey, maybe it'll be slightly different. The tempo's changed. It definitely has. He has been, Richard. I strongly agree with you. Strongly agree with you. He's been awesome today. That tracking back, like that stuff, that hard work he's been doing, so good. So good. And necessary, with the Ward-Prowse being involved with Souček as opposed to like Alvarez, necessary to have someone, pardon me, in there doing that sort of stuff. James Ward-Prowse to take the corner. It's going to be an in-swinger from the left-hand side. Is he going to put it in the exact same spot as always? No, he puts it deeper. Souček was there, as was Mavropanos. It doesn't quite hit. Soufal collects it the far side, opposite corner quadrant, lofts it back in towards box over the top of everyone. Again, James Ward-Prowse is going to collect it on the opposite corner quadrant once more. We're back where we first started. Paquetá taking a little bit too long. Okay, somehow that's a foul against us. I really don't know how. Paquetá gets caught out taking a little bit too long there, but thankfully he does a little bit of beautiful time wasting, and that allows us to get back. But again, not really sure how that's a foul. I don't understand 50-50s anymore. I just don't get it. Paquetá, apparently another foul there. I just don't get it. He takes down Maddison there again with what seems to be another. Like, don't get me wrong, he goes in for a 50-50 hard, but like sometimes they're a 50, sometimes they're a foul, sometimes they're not. It just doesn't. There's no consistency on what's going on here. I don't really care what the rule is most of the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I disagree with certain rules. Paquetá went to apologise. Maddison's pissed off with him. It says no. Look, here's the thing, right? I really don't care most of the time what the rule is. Nice interception straight away from us. Almost managed to flick it through. Could as long as it's consistent, that's all that matters. It's whatever the rule is, as long as it's applied consistently, I don't really care, right? And like 50-50s today, I mean, we saw it in the Newcastle game as well, but 50-50s today are just all of it. Maddison's just gone in and taken out Paquetá there. Apparently, that's no foul. And that one was done. You cannot tell me that one was not done with malice. Comes across the box, easily cleared away from Soufal. No one there. You cannot tell me that one wasn't done with malice. I do not understand. Whips across. Zuma does well to keep that one away. Emerson finds Kudus. Nipped in, but Emerson manages to clear that one away. Mikel Antonio charging down now. Collects the ball wide. I tell you what, Van de Ven does really well there to stop that. Can't keep it out. He does really well. And I tell you what, it's a beautiful bit of time wasting. He's going to get a yellow card. It was a beautiful bit of time wasting. He can complain as much as he likes. It was 100% a bit of time wasting. An easy yellow to give. A fun yellow. You know what I mean? He does it nicely. He's fallen over. He's sort of on the floor. He just swipes away at the ball just to make sure the counter-attack can't carry on. It's getting itchy. Is that a phrase? Probably not. Said it now. Live. In front of several hundred people. It's fine. Mikel Antonio asking for a foul there. Defender was climbing all over him. And Tottenham can come up the other end now. Stoppage time about to be announced for half time. For the first half. Good defensive work forces Spurs back. I tell you what, we've got better as the half's gone on. That opening 20 minutes was terrifying. But since the goal, I feel like we've sort of got something there. Testy, that's probably a better way of putting it than itchy. Scratchy is also not a bad way of putting it. I think basically any word apart from itchy. Yeah, that's how I feel. At first 20 was terrifying, but it feels like we've sort of slowly got something here. Good work from Paquetá getting involved there. Basuma, 2 minutes is what's announced of stoppage time. Played forward, flicked across. Brennan Johnson finds Porro. Good block from Kudus. It's going to be a corner to Spurs. Corner to Spurs. Just having a look at my match bingos. Close. Close. All I need is a goal on the 8th minute and a yellow card on the 6th minute. I could be getting 2 easily here. Get 2 itchy. That's the clue. Yes, that's the, yeah, exactly, Christian. Christian, you know what we're talking about here. You know what we're talking about here. Corner comes in from Spurs. In swinger from the right hand side. Oh, sorry, out swinger from the right hand side. Cleared away from Emerson. Nicely done. They look to take the throw in quickly. Madison has it. Nice little 1-2 with Benton Coy. He's inside the box. Thomas Souček does well just to keep that ball away from him without fouling there. I was really scared that was going to be a penalty there, but we do well to keep it out. James Madison comes across to take yet another outswinging corner. Played in. Headed away from Van de Ven off the back of his head. Somehow Benton Cole managed to keep that one in. I'm not even sure how. Madison and Paquetá are having words, let's say. Having words. How the T-virus starts, bro. Don't get me on a Resident Evil train. Don't get me on a Resident Evil train, because I'll never stop. I'll never stop. Madison and Paquetá. Madison is not happy with Paquetá at all. And, I don't think Paquetá is a human being is going to shirk away from that too much. We're going to get yet another corner. Outswinger from James Madison. Nodded away from Zuma. Spurs still have the ball. Bentancur tries to shape for a shot. Thankfully it goes wide. And there is the halftime whistle. 1-1. 1-1 at halftime. I feel starting to sound like a FIFA guy. I feel more positive about it than I thought I would, if I'm being honest. That opening 20 minutes was really, really... Strongly agree, Richard. Strongly agree. It was really stress. I felt like there was... It felt destined for a failure. We were all over the shop. They were pressing us. We didn't look like we know how to deal with it at all. And although Bowen had that chance really early on where he maybe could have and should have done better with it, realistically, we weren't really creating at any decent rate. It just felt like there was nothing there. And that opening 20 minutes, I was scared. Like, usually I do these things and teams come at us and everyone in the live chat will be concerned. And I'll just be like, I'm not that worried. I was really, really, really worried. I was stressed. And yet somehow, after that period, after we scored, we've sort of worked our way into the game. We've sort of fought our way back into it. And I think as the game gets more testy, I feel like that only suits us more, if I'm being honest about it. I'm more confident about this now than I was. You could still convince me very easily that this could go anyway. You know, you look at us getting forward, getting a corner, getting a simple goal. We've created some other chances as well in and around that. We could just farm these corners, keep creating those chances, and I don't feel like Tottenham are going to get better at defending them at any point. Equally, our defending for our goal was completely and utterly we were just lost. We were just a mess. And that wasn't the only time in the opening 20 minutes, especially, where defensively I was like, "Ooh, what's going on here? What the hell is going on? Where are we moving here?" I can conceive of a situation in which that happens again. Having said all that, the fact I'm not that concerned, I predicted a loss before the game. And the fact I'm not, like, terrified right now is an incredible thing for us. We do need to figure out how to move forward from it. But in the second half is going to be big. Hopefully we don't revert too deep. Hopefully we don't completely collapse like we did against Newcastle. But that front four, I just feel like we have a chance. I feel like, you know, they want to press us, they want to get involved, they want to get on top of us, and that just gives us the opportunity. If we can figure out ways to consistently play out from the back from those situations, if it is a long ball to Mikel Antonio or Jared Bowen when he was doing a brief stint up front and he was causing them problems, it's every time we get the ball to Jared Bowen, Udogie seems to be, well, their entire left-hand side just seems to be a bit concerned about it. There are really options there to be got at. I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm saying I can see the path to victory and I can see us winning. I could also see them winning. That's a scary prospect, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. 45 minutes to go. And we'll have to figure it out because we will be here for the entire rest of the game. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like the video. We're the most consistent West Ham fan channel when it comes to watch-alongs. Unfortunately, we missed last time because I had food poisoning, but we're back now. Killing the game. Well, I say killing the game. Hopefully killing the game. And so like the video as well because it helps out massively when someone types in West Ham, Spurs. We're the top ones to come up. Also, shout out to Match Bingo, of course. Our sponsor for the watch-alongs and the build-up shows and whatnot. I'm incredibly close to winning some money. 25, 50, 100 and an extra £100 are on the line. It's £2 a card. It's like bingo for football. They give you things. They tick them off as they go. So, for example, when West Ham get kickoff, that one there is going to get ticked off. You get lines, you get money. It's a beautiful app. Link in the description below. Let's see how you feel about it. Let's see how you feel about it. I don't do rain. If I could wear a hat like Moyes, or goalkeeper used to wear hats. Joe Hart wear a hat at one point. I feel like Joe Hart wore a hat. Then maybe. Don't feel like you can do that in the cam position. Yeah, that's been a big complaint of mine all throughout it. Free Chains is good to see skits, by the way. The refereeing has been so inconsistent. It really has been just an absolute. Like I said during the thing, I genuinely do not care what the rule is. Whatever the rule is, that's fine. That's the rule. It is what it is. We move on. We play around that, right? It's when it's applied so inconsistently. You look at you look at the Newcastle game, it was super inconsistent. You look at this game, it's insanely inconsistent. I don't understand what 50-50s are anymore because it seems to me like sometimes we go in for a 50-50 and it's a definite foul for some reason, and yet sometimes they go in for a 50-50 and it's completely fine. I'm not saying it's even necessarily a West Ham, they're not favouring us or anything. I don't want to make it seem like that, even though it feels that way right now. I just don't get it. I just don't understand what the hell they are. Just what the hell they are. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it needs to be rewritten. If you haven't already, check out Dean's work, of course. Dean, hell of a moderator. Of course, my neighbour in North Idaho. Big up the NIITS, massive. And a wonderful DJ as well. And a great graphic designer. I don't know where the jumper is. I've managed to misplace that instantaneously. It's got lost like all the rest of the West Ham shirts did. God knows where it is. But check out Dean's work. Dean Marsh on Twitter. Highly recommend. Yeah, mixed officiating. Really mixed officiating. Go over someone's back is always being fouled. This is the thing with 50-50s, right? When they go in 50-50, shoulder to shoulder. When you go in 50-50, shoulder to shoulder, right? Like this, 50-50, okay? That's fine. But if Danny has the ball and he's running and he sees me coming in, but he turns his back slightly like that, but it's still in the same position, and I still go for 50-50 and I touch his back, that's a foul. Now, I understand why, but it does feel a little bit stupid to me because it feels like it's still exactly 50-50. He's just turned his back to win a free kick. Then you have times where you do just go in 50-50, and it's given as a foul. And then there's times where you go in 50-50 and it doesn't go in for a foul. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. When he's looking for a scrap, I tell you what, him and Maddison is looking for a scrap. Maddison looked very, very annoyed towards the end of that second half. Just give the ball to Paquetá. Get him running at him. Just annoy him. Just annoy him. As someone said, if he scores, do the flipping dart celebration. Get fully on his nerves, because right now he is annoyed. They're climbing all over Mickey at times. That was the other thing, Schizo. You're 100% correct. It's like there was a time where the ball went towards Mikel Antonio, and one of their players, I don't know which one it was, probably Romero, was just like, it was all over him. And that's the sort of thing that I see given as a free kick constantly, and yet somehow today isn't. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It was out very briefly. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. Brad says, I have to say I'm happy with how things are going. I think when we are on the break, we're doing well. Let's hope Moyes doesn't try any other tactics. Yeah, that's my opinion as well. Like, opening 20 was terrifying, but we seem to have settled into a rhythm in a game now, and it's working for us, and I feel like it can continue to work for us. When we inevitably have to sub off Mikel Antonio, and we will have to sub him off at some point because he is a man in his mid-30s who has always had problems with injuries, and we desperately need him, especially in the European games coming up. So we will have to sub him off at some point. That concerns me. Any other subs concern me massively. Hopefully we can get a goal before any of that sort of stuff happens. Steve B says, James Ward-Prowse breaks before going. He's on the pitch, but not on the pitch most games and gets away with it. He's playing deep today. It's never going to work for him. It just never ever will. It's not his vibe. He's not working at a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1. It's just not his thing. It might in a different managerial setup in a different system. If he's playing under Ange, maybe where it's a bit more pressing focused and that sort of stuff, it's not going to work. He's a number 10 for West Ham. Unfortunately, we literally have no other options, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. But I agree with you. I don't think anything's really happened. The amount of late challenges the refs lets, like he's left a lot. He's left a lot. I can't lie. It feels notable. Compared to some performances, the ref seems quite okay tonight. Fair enough, Sam. Might just be me. It might just be me because, again, I was saying this thing because I'm still got the Newcastle game playing in the back of my mind. It might be me, to be fair. I love it when we concede early because it puts a rocket on it. Bam says AS. See, I love it the opposite, just because it makes us. We're just so strong on a counter that I'm like, score early and then we just deal with it the rest of the game. Although from a visual watching perspective, from actually watching the game and enjoying it perspective, that's probably the worst thing to happen. But from a success perspective, that's what I want. That's what I need. You know. I'd love to see how much better we were after the season if we hadn't been robbed so many times, says Bill. I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, again, the Newcastle game. I feel like if that pen, like obviously there's a lot of things that happen in that Newcastle game, but that pen specifically changes a lot. If that doesn't get given, potentially a completely different second half. Apparently, Ange is asking Moyes to bring on Phillips' dress. I completely forgot about that, Adrian. Thank you for letting me know. I'll end that and just see what the vibe is. I completely forgot about that. What's everyone's halftime nom-noms? I'm having a cup of tea and 2 iced coconut fingers with fresh cream. Christopher is living the highest of lives right now. You have to respect it. I'm drinking water. Maybe a better the second half of the people go for it. And then, we see. But you got to respect it. I'd like to think Moyes won't park the bus. He does love that tactic. I feel like, again, once we change from Mikel Antonio, there's just gonna have to be a difference there. I don't know what. I don't know, Smooth. I don't know what we do when Antonio comes off. Because, like, realistically, what's going to happen is you're going to push James Ward-Prowse into the 10 position and probably bring on someone to play deep, but it can't be Phillips, but it's probably going to have to be Phillips. Or you actually bring on, say, Danny Ings, but then you isolate Danny Ings and it's completely against what he's good at. Or you bring on Mubama, but he's a youth player and Moyes doesn't trust youth players. That's the obvious one, is you should bring on Mubama. If we're being honest, that should be the answer. Difficult game for him to come on for, don't get me wrong. Spurs at home, lots of pressure on him, but at the same time, it's the only one where we don't have to completely change what we're doing. And don't get me wrong, you can't push for 90 minutes. It's just not physically possible. But yeah, I feel like that's the stuff. I feel like that's the option. Just God knows. Yeah, just God knows. Graham says, game definitely on a knife edge, could go either way. It depends on the subs Ange makes and the subs Moyes doesn't make. Yeah, or the subs he does make in the case of the last game, of course. Listen, I haven't got a problem with it. I'll be honest with you. I don't like diving. I'll say that. I don't like diving. The rest of S-housery, crap housery, I'm all for. Diving specifically, I'm against. But like, for example, when Van der Ven went with the wasted time and he pushed the ball away, you know, all that kind of nonsense, I'm here for. That kind of nonsense, I'm here for. Diving, no, can get them in. It's a weird feeling, but I worry if we score early in the second half, Moyes makes a defensive change. Maybe. I could see it happening. I could see it happening to the point. Equally, though, I feel like that's just where we're at. That's just the position we're in, you know? We need to go for it a bit more, test their nervy goalkeeper. I would like to see us taking some more shots. I don't know where they come from. I think we've done relatively well at converting our chances to shots at the end of it, where it being converting it to a corner and getting that opportunity away or whatever. But I would like to see us take some more shots just in general. It's just, you know, Gonzo will be screaming, we need pace at the screen every time our midfield allows them to get past us. Slow to turn and react to it. Yeah, we have. I don't think that's a pace issue necessarily. I think that's a concentration. That's like somebody got paired, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, look back at their goal, right? I need to rewatch it, but I'm pretty certain James Ward-Prowse gets turned by Maddison pretty easily. The bus will be wheeled out for the second half. He can't help it. You're allowed to probably tackle in the box, remember? Yeah, listen. I'm here for it. Again, I'm here for it. Getting the corners, one will find its way into the net. Yeah, exactly. 100%, Jimmy. We just got to keep farming those corners. Just keep getting them. Doesn't matter how we're doing it. Ping it to James. Ping it to Jarrah Bowen. He's causing problems. And then just have him running at him. He's winning them consistently. That's the big vibe for me in the second half, because it's really worked in that first, and I suspect it will really work in the second. The teams are getting close to coming out. I think I might have just seen Spurs coming out before I start showing replays again. So I'll ask you at this point again to remember to subscribe if you haven't already, because we are the most consistent West Ham fan channel when it comes to watch-alongs, but more importantly, over the last 4 years or 5 years or however long we've been doing them at this point, we also have videos going up all the time about all the different things, including, of course, our trips back in Europe, as well as all the Premier League stuff. So subscribe, because it helps us out, and then like the video, because that is really, really super useful. I can't lie. That means whenever someone types in West Ham Tottenham, we're more likely to come into the top. It helps the algorithm, all that nonsense. It's massively, massively useful. The teams are coming back out. Can't see any changes from either side. As they make their way back onto the pitch. I'll say if there is. However, we have 45 minutes to go. 45 minutes of football left in this one. And it's going to be a big second half. And it could genuinely go either way. If you told me we win this game, I'd believe you. If you told me they win this game, I'd believe you. If you told me we drawed, I'd believe you. It doesn't feel like there's an obvious answer to how this game's going to go. And that, for me, is a good thing. I expected it to be done by this point. Especially after that opening 20 minutes, I expected it to be a foregone conclusion. And yet somehow, we're still in this. Through fortitude, through fighting, through getting those corners, and I feel like as long as we can keep doing that, we've got a good opportunity here. West Ham are going to take the kickoff. Paquetá to take it. Referee blows the whistle. There we go. Deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur, live from the London Stadium. If you are looking for a way to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. You can look down into the link in the description below. There's a bit there called Join Our Discord. Click on that. Lovely Hammers Chat. West Ham community fans of all clubs are welcome, but more importantly, if you scroll down on the left-hand side, there's a bit called called Streamlinks, which you'll find what you're looking for. Jarrah Bowen instantaneously fouling Udogie. Is almost as quickly as the whistle was gone, it's gone again. Alvarez is still injured. What's going on? Alvarez is he's obviously on suspension from his yellow cards, so he's not allowed. Big boot forward from Vicario. Looking to see if there's any significant changes in positions. I can't see any. Souček to Emerson, out wide to Zuma. Just punts it forward. Potential handball there, cool. I think it was just a chest. Referee agrees. Mavropanos finds Emerson, flicks into the path of Thomas Souček. Yeah, it's very definitively a sort of 4-1-4-1. Tight, very tight in that space. It's very definitively a 4-1-4-1. And it's been interesting to see because Thomas Souček's just by default getting involved in a play on the left hand side, which isn't something he usually does. Bowen and Soufal almost linking up. It's a nice idea. Soufal's pushing Romero all the way and wins a throw in. Really nice work from Soufal there. Really nice work. Quick throw as well. Was bad. Bad throw. Bad throw. I mean, it's us, so of course it was a bad throw, but it was a bad throw. Nice interception from James Ward-Prowse. Antonio hits it. Vicario matches it. Nicely done from Mikel Antonio. Takes a snapshot quickly after good pressure from James Ward-Prowse. Nips in. Good cross from Kudus. Just over the top. It's going to be yet another corner. Good work. Really close from Mikel Antonio. Great pressing from James Ward-Prowse. Just charging after the ball. Nips in there. Forces it to land to the feet of Mikel Antonio, who just takes a swing at it with his weak foot from range. And it wasn't an incredible shot, but Vicario has to react quickly to stop him, and it's going to be a corner. Nicely done. Good start, good start, good start. Jarrod Bowen to take the corner. In swinger. Vicario and Antonio battling for it. Whips across. Mavropanos. Header. Antonio. Oh my god. It's so close. Offside. I thought it was in. It was so close. So Antonio. Oh, it doesn't go over the line, and Mikel Antonio completely misses it. Offside. Somehow, I mean, he doesn't touch the ball. He's interfering in play, all that stuff. So close. Ball gets whipped in. Mavropanos rises up, gets the header onto it. Vicario stops it. I mean, it's relatively at Vicario, but he's falling backwards, pushes it off the line. And Mikel Antonio, who's there, I mean, it wouldn't have counted even if he got the touch, swings his leg at it, completely misses the ball from about 1 yard away. It came at him very close to her. And it would have been offside regardless, but close. Great start. Great start. Mavropanos lays it short to Thomas Souček. Ooh. 88 minutes, Everton have just got an equaliser against Newcastle. You hate to see it. Antonio does well, finds James Ward-Prowse back out wide to Jarrod Bowen, wide on the right hand side. He's got Soufal on the overlap if he wants him. He's steady, lays it short to Paquetá, who spins, could shoot, does. Oh, close. Looking for that top left hand corner. I tell you what, we're doing really well right now. We're doing really well right now. This feels like the exact opposite of the opening 20 minutes. Spurs don't look like they know how to deal with us right now. That's beautifully done from Paquetá. Spins Bentancur. And then looking for that top left-hand corner, just whistles past it. Dinked forward from Spurs. Finds Pedro Porro far forward, but the pass inwards is collected from a Paquetá. Tell you what, the 4-4-1's kind of worked for us. With Paquetá and James Ward-Prowse in this sort of tens, if you want to put it that way, with the 2 8s, I guess. It's sort of working for us. Mikel Antonio collecting the ball, wins a free kick off Romero, who's just all over him. Here we go. It's essentially a deep corner. We're retreating it as such. All the big men are going forward. Zuma's in there. Souček's in there. Mavropanos is in there. James Ward-Prowse is going to be the one taking it. It's deep. It's not a James Ward-Prowse shooting position. It's deep. It's right on the left-hand touch line. You're probably talking 35, 40 yards away from goal. It's nowhere close to being able to shoot. But he's going to get a whipped cross to the back stick. It was poor. It was a poor cross. It goes out for a goal kick. It was hit way too hard, and Thomas Souček does his best to try and keep it in, but can't manage it. Great start from us. Awesome start. Exactly. Yeah. Got to make the most of it. Got to make it count. Mouse is going crazy. There we go. Maddison. Son. In the centre. Forced back from Kurt Zouma, who then gets back into position fast. Nicely done. Wide to Brennan Johnson, who skips past Kudus. Maddison hits it, deflects. I'll tell you what, Zuma does well there again. Nodded forward, Kudus with control. West Ham just trying to play it out of trouble. Thomas Souček gets the clearance forward to Mikel Antonio. That's nicely done. And he gets the control. Nicely done. Wait, what? How's Mikel Antonio just got a yellow card? How's Mikel Antonio just got a yellow card? Okay, sure, whatever. Whatever. Just what the ref will do. What the ref will do. He doesn't make any sense. He doesn't really. There's nothing up here. He just does whatever he does. We move on with our lives. Do you know what I mean? We just accept it as an unfortunate part of the game. At this point, it's a mechanic and not a bug. You just work your way around it. You know. Porro as they try to play their way quickly through the centre. Brennan Johnson, that's a big ball in. Flipping heck, that was close. Brennan Johnson manages to get a quick whip ball across, and Son was charging onto it and can't quite get the touch he wants, otherwise you'd suspect it would be in the net. Spurs continue to have possession of the ball wide on the other side. They're going central again now. We've managed to sort of limit their chances through the middle. Pedro Porro, I tell you what, Zuma does well there to nip that ball away. Shot comes in from the centre. Good block as well. Right, I think that was Sue foul. Looking for Mikel Antonio forward. Can't quite make it work. Basuma comes away with the ball. Good interception from Emerson. Can't quite get it first. Him and Basuma both dive in. It's going to be a free. It's going to be a corner to us. Emerson and Basuma, they're both sliding in on each other, and Basuma stays down. Emerson got up straight away. It's a throw. It was going to be a throw in to us. Then I think I'll be honest with you. I good block from Sufal. I don't know if Basuma's hurt there as much as he seems to be hurt, but he just, it is what it is. It is what it is. They will never. The patch notes come out every year, and it's just more nonsense. It's just more nonsense. What's going on here? Do you know? Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Johnson with a nice back heel into the path for Pedro Porro, who tries to run him around the back. Madison. He's been really limited nicely today, although they're getting in there. Nicely cleared away from Sufal. Shot from Basuma wide. Wide. I feel like we've managed to limit Madison to sort of playing a lot deeper than he'd want to be. He's trying to get in and around those areas now in this second half. This sort of period, the last 5 minutes, he's been trying to get in and around the box, and he's been doing it. Amazing recovery, Basuma. I know, it's crazy how that works, isn't it, Stevie? It's crazy how he looked like he was dead a second ago, and now he's taking shots from outside the area like Steven Gerrard in an FA Cup final. Yeah. We'll see how. Thank you, Mark. Very kind of you to say. Appreciate it. That's a big difference in this half so far. Is Maddison's been able to get in and around the box a little bit more than he was in the first half. We didn't really see it too much in the first. We're seeing it now, but we're in much more comfortable defensive positions. So in that sense, it's kind of benefit. We're in a benefit that says, oh, that's a nice control from Jarrod Bowen off the long kick from Fabianski. He's taken on Udogie. He beats him as well. He does really well. Dribbles past another guy, lays the shot to Paquetá. It's really nicely done. Tried to lay it in, couldn't quite make it work. Shot from range from Paquetá goes significantly over the bar. Jarrod Bowen does really well. Again, the long ball from Fabianski. Just accurate. It's such a big game changer. This is what I was trying to say before. Like, Areola has been absolutely wonderful this year. I love Areola. I think he's such a good goalkeeper. I'm so happy we've got him, and he is the long-term goalkeeper for Arsenal. Like, sorry, for West Ham. I'm so happy with him as a goalkeeper. But it's just that distribution. It's just levels with Fabianski. He's just nowhere even close to it. Fabianski just long kicks it directly at the feet of Jarrod Bowen from the halfway line. Just bang. Pinpoint precision. And Areola's long kicks are just awful. And when you want that counter-attacking side, it can be so beneficial. It can be so beneficial. Yeah, no, I completely missed that one. My brain is just on autopilot. Bentancur trying to dribble his way through. Nice pass out to Pedro Porro. Souček gets the block, played away. Yeah, the 4-1-4-1 seems to have suited us with James Ward-Prowse a lot more than the 4-2-3-1 has, where it's James Ward-Prowse sitting deep with Souček. It's not ideal to have Souček as the one in the 4-1-4-1 as the sitter. Like, it's just not ideal, but actually, I think it's kind of the best case scenario for us in this. With this available players, when you don't have Alvarez, it's probably the best case scenario. Maddison's cross deflects off Thomas Souček. Emerson clears it away. Big ball forward. Can't quite get it. Currently we are, but there's two teams, right? And it's Tottenham are putting it on us. So we're having to. You know? We're having to. It's about where they can, like, it's about where we react to it. That's the big thing. It's not necessarily about how deep we are. It's about how we react to it. And Spurs are putting a lot more people. They're putting a lot more people further forward, and Maddison getting in and around the area is sort of meaning that they can more consistently maintain possession in those positions and create a bit more of an issue, right? It's not necessarily that we're playing deeper by choice. Like, let's be real, they're just putting it on us. Paquetá, poor pass. It was a nice idea to try and find Jarrod Bowen. Oh, Antonio trying to push Vicario there. Not quick enough to get there. But it's about how we react to that and how we counter off the back of those things, because then you can start to push them back. Just the way the game's flowed is just sort of moving in that direction. So we just have to make sure that we can continue to do it. Kurt Zuma getting forward. Nicely done. Finds Mikel Antonio. And we've been clearly told to target their left-hand side. Oh, right. Van de Ven really took the ball apart from Mikel Antonio way too easily there. Maddison charging forward. Thomas Souček coming back to track him. Played inwards. Son. Out wide to Johnson. Back to Son. Paquetá comes flying in. Somehow that one wasn't a free kick. Okay. Oh, Mikel Antonio's through. Mikel Antonio 1v1. Oh, and he gets past Mickey Van de Ven. Hits it straight at Vicario. That's such a wonderful chance he's just missed. That's such a good opportunity. How is he... It was so good, and he knows it was so good. That should be two. That was such a strong opportunity, Mikel. Good interception again from Emerson. Clatter challenge from Bentancur. It's going to be a free kick to us. Man, that was so close. I mean, I felt like that one was probably a foul on Maddison, on Paquetá Maddison there, but it wasn't. And a huge ball. I don't know who plays that ball. It's a beautiful pass to Antonio, whose touch is a little bit wonky, and Van de Ven does well to catch back up, but falls over. Asks for a free kick. There was no chance in that one. And Mikel Antonio shot directly at Vicario. Just smash it, bro. Just get your foot through it. Laces it. Just ping it in towards the top corner. Why are you placing it? I've said this so many times about Mikel Antonio, right? I say this so many times about Mikel Antonio. When you give him more time to think, he'll make the wrong decision. And... he had too much time. He had too much time to think about it. Bentancur was yellow carded in the midst of all that, by the way. WHUTOT, it's a foul on Jarrod. Well, I don't know if it's a foul on Jarrod Bowen. I think it's a throw into Tottenham, but I don't know what happened with Jarrod Bowen. Yeah, so Doggy just dives in on the back of him there. Judas with the £2. Thank you very much, my trustworthy friend. I hope you and Mrs. Judas are very well. Hope you're both good. How are you? Are you well? Let's get real specific about it. How are you specifically? Hope you're good, bro. I'll put your name in the thing. Game's starting to get a bit more testy again. I feel like that benefits us. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. The longer he has on the ball, the more time he has to think about it, the more likely he is to fluff it. Thomas Suchek, nice interception there with the head. Doesn't quite get the there's no direction on it, but it's nicely intercepted at least. Good interception from Kudus. Does brilliantly there. He's having another really good game, Kudus. Nice control going backwards, but I like it. As long as we can get away from this Tottenham press here. Mavropanos looking to try and hoof it forward back towards him. Nicely done. Kudus with control. Pass is poor, but we keep control of the ball. You love to see it. You love to see it. Play that wide. We keep it. We keep it. Oh, scratch. Itchy knee. Itchy knee. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. And again, helps out the channel massively. £2. Thank you. Not just myself. Oh, and then Dave as well. APGW, of course. Dave. Thank you very much, sir. 61 minutes. But listen, if the people go for it, the people go for it. You know what I'm like? It's a democracy around here, you know? Yeah. I ain't running this place, you know? It's very much a group. It's very much a group think. Charging forward with Johnson. Ooh, and Emerson manages to nip the ball away. Terrified again of a pen. Zuma, nice first time pass to Benton Core. Plays it out wide to Son. Up against Zuma. High and wide. I tell you what, Zuma did well to just like make himself as big as possible there. Just holds him off. Stops it from going into any sort of dangerous areas. This is my concern. I'm looking at the bench, right? And we've got Anang, Johnson, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Phillips, Urfi, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. SARS can be coming on for them, and it's not. It doesn't fill me with hope. Let's say. Like, I feel like the only one who doesn't change the formation is Mubama, but we know that's not going to happen. And so that pace, I mean, maybe in a 4-1-4-1, you don't have to change it too much. As opposed to a 4-2-3-1. Driven forward, looking for Mohamed Kudus, who does brilliantly to keep it on. Somehow he's offside. Does really well. I thought he did brilliantly, but apparently, no. There's been enough calls for bells. Enough calls. Kez getting in there. Of course, we have P-Gas saying it. Edam, there's been enough calls. Maybe one more would be necessary. I don't know. No, it was El Greco said it in there as well. Okay, right. We did a bail poll. I completely forgot to look at the Fabianski one as well. I saw at one point that the Fabianski one was let's have a look. He was loving it. It was a long time when Fabianski was loving it. Can I scroll back far enough? No, it won't let me. Won't let me scroll back far enough. Fuming. I'll give it until 68. That means technically we'll eat it in the 69th minute for the vibes. For the vibes. Started my weekend bit of Mania Beers already. Big. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be doing a watch along for Mania. In fact, do you know what? Screw it. While we're here, while I'm unnecessarily pimping my own nonsense out. There we go. Screw it. Life goes on. If you haven't subscribed already, there's some links to my personal wrestling channel. I never post on it. I'm planning to do it more often now because I actually have some more time on my hands. God knows if I'll do it. Mainly, I'll at least do watch longs for that, so get involved. Get involved. Anyway, Tottenham on the ball. They're going to be doing their subs in a minute. Saar is getting ready. Remember, there's still just under a minute left on the poll. 45 minutes. We've categorically voted no bell. Big, Dean. Big. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it. Very kind of you. The Calvin Phillips finger fund sounds incredibly wrong, FPP, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you very much. I'll put you in the middle. All across from Cabarro. Shot from Johnson. Easily blocked from Suchek. They're slowly trying to work their way in. 10 seconds left on the poll. Bell Jobson, 69. Get him in. Get him in, Zombie Freed. You'd imagine Antonio's got to come off soon, right? The poll is over. Let's have a look at the poll results. 76% said yes. 23% said no. So we will be belling in a second. Bells will be occurring in a moment. Straight at... Or looking for the shot straight at Fabianski. Next time this ball goes out of play, I'll be running and getting a bell. Fact, I could probably go do it now, can I? Give me a sec. We're back in a sec. Hang on. Here we go. In the net. So you can see, literally only one left. And who's that? Kulishevsky's going to be coming on as well. We're talking at the same time. No need to panic yet. Well, listen, as I said, we follow the trend here. You know, if the people vote for it, the people vote for it. And they have voted for it. So who we got? We've got Bentancur, Saar. And then Kulishevsky coming on. Kulishevsky for Maddison. I'm a little bit shocked he's taken off Maddison, but at the same time, I don't think he's been anywhere near as effective as you'd want Maddison to be. He's been completely rattled most of the game. When he has got into the positions that they would want him to be in, it's not really been anything to write home about. So I'm not entirely shocked in that sense, I guess. The silent snack. Here we go. So be interested to see how they try to build up an attack now they don't have him on. Saar obviously getting involved as well changes their output a little bit. When Johnson tries to play it in, doesn't quite make it work. And Kudus battles for it to come away with it from Kulishevsky. And he does really well. That's a dive in. Can't stop it. Kudus, man. Kudus is just unstoppable right now. He says that as he gets dispossessed, but he does so well in the build-up. There are definitely times I agree with you with that. There are definitely times I agree with you with that. Especially when sometimes you're looking to keep possession, when you're looking to counter. No, having that guy who can just drag the pace and just go is like great, but then also sometimes having that guy who can just play the ball out can also help you, relieve you massively. And there, I don't know if there was a pass on, but there's times like that where I sometimes go, just make an easier pass as opposed to try and taking it past every single person. But like, he's so good at it. So, corner to Tottenham from our left hand side. Pedro Porro is going to be the one to take it. Out swinger, whips it in, headed away from Kurt Zouma. Basuma being chased by Jarrod Bowen. At some point, Mick Antonio is going to have to come off. I mean, playing game on a Tuesday helps a little bit because it means we've not got till whenever it is, Saturday, I think it is. But you feel like he has to come off at some point just from energy and from an energy perspective. Brennan Johnson on the ball, plays out wide to Sarr, looking to try and whip it in. I tell you what, Thomas Souček, as per usual. Oh, it's so foul. Beautiful stuff. He's having a much better game today than he had against Newcastle. Still been one or two moments where I think he's been caught a little bit lacking, especially a bit too central. But, I mean, he wasn't the only guy. That was just a structural issue. I think for him, from an individual performance, he's been a lot better. Newcastle was all over the shop. This has been a lot better from him. We need pace. Cornet has it. Moyes won't. Cornet is just... He's just done out here, isn't he, for being honest about it. It's my opinion, anyway. Yeah, I think as the energy levels drop, we lack the ability to really step into those gaps again that we could step into previously, and that just means that the opposition team can play through the lines quicker, can get forward into the sort of halfway, that sort of middle zone, and when you're in that middle zone, that's when we structurally sit off a little bit more, we get a little bit tighter, get a little bit deeper. And it just affects us that little bit. It's that tiny little change. Even though we're not doing something completely different, Brendan Johnson's going to get a yellow card there for a tackle cynically on Mohamed Kudus. And it's that little tiny change that just means that we're ever so slightly deeper than we were previously. That we struggle a little bit more. It's really annoying. It's annoying because you can't just like push. You can't do that for 90 minutes as any side. You just can't, right? But especially with us, with the team we have, with the Asian squad, like you look at Mikel Antonio, for example, he will get subbed off at some point because he's just too energy. He's just not got the energy levels that he used to have as a younger player. You know, he's in his mid-30s. He's been injured so many times. Cross comes in, almost Mikel Antonio almost manages to get on the end of that. JPW was also there. Sifal does well just to flick that on first time, but a little bit of miscommunication between him and Jarrod Bowen. He's showing a little bit of frustration, annoyingly, but yeah, it's gonna happen. Nice ball into Mikel Antonio inside the box. It's these moments when we have the ball in their area and we're in a sort of fairly advanced position where we do well. Look at that, Thomas Souček again getting in there. Jarrod Bowen trying to force his way through Basuma. He's holding him off, but he's got Mikel Antonio to contend with as well. Jarrod Bowen steps his way and stabs it, right? And it's going to be a goal kick. But yeah, I think it's those moments where we can't let those up. And when it goes to a goal kick, we need to make sure we sort of stay on it. Because otherwise we drop a bit deep and like here we're cutting out the passing lanes nice. Forcing them into just doing stuff they don't want to do. And if I was them, I'd be tempted to just punt it. But then you've got Kurt Zouma, you've got Mavropanos there. So it's just about keeping them at bay at this point. Again, we just The problem with cutting out the passing lanes like that, we did really nice to cut out the passing lanes and we made them stand still and just not know what to do. The problem is we then just we were then hesitant to take that next step in of nipping the ball away from them, which is fine. But if we just let them creep their way forward, which is what just happened, it was fully creeping. Their goalkeeper just rolling it forward again, rolling it forward again, rolling it forward again. We get into those zones where we then have to go right and then step off, drop off, and move back. And it's those moments where it becomes a big problem for us. It's going to be a throw into Spurs, wide on the left-hand side, in the corner quadrant. Forced back, good defensive work from us. The positioning is a lot better. Emerson comes out to meet Johnson that time into Kulishevsky. Souček meets him again. Emerson meeting Johnson once more. Won't let him get through. Dink into the box, easily collected by Fabianski. Look to try and spin and play it out soon. Just no options really available there. It's good defending from Spurs. No, none so far. None so far. Again, I don't know who you would sub. That's the problem. If you're Moyes, we couldn't quite keep it in. It was a nice idea, but couldn't quite. If he had a striker, he could change. And this is the big problem, right? We're once again suffering from the issue of not having a good striker for Mikel Antonio replacement, right? If we had that guy, then you would have seen that change already, I would suspect, because it really could change up what we do. Without that, with Danny Ings isn't that guy, very clearly. Ribama could be that guy, but if you're David Moyes, you don't trust youth players, so that's not going to happen. At that point, it becomes more and more of a problem that we don't have someone to do that stuff. Let alone the Ben Rama / Fornals selling in the January window, which is also creates a different problem for us. Fabianski collects that one. Get Kevin Nolan on. Big, Ray. Big. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Get him in, battling. Long ball to Mikel Antonio. Can't quite get the flick on. He's charging him down. I tell you what, fair play to Mikel Antonio. He's charging him down right now. Basuma comes flying past him though. Oh, sorry, Udogie comes flying past him. Ribama's on the bench, yeah. If we go back to the bench again, Anang, Johnson, Crespo, Ogbonna, Phillips, Urfi, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. He's on the bench. He just won't get used. We know for a fact he won't get used. Bring on Andy Carroll. Get him in there. Big man. Big balls. 10 minutes to go. Started the half really strongly, but again, we've allowed that sort of creep to happen. And we're struggling to work our way out of it. Johnson trying to nip his way through. There's a couple of little legs loose there. A bit scary. Pedro Porro looking for the cross to the back post. And I tell you what, thank Christ for that. It's offside in the end anyway, but yeah. Oh. Just not got a squad. We've just not got a squad for it. It's really annoying. I've said this on many shows since. It's not... The transfer windows aren't complicated. Really, you have one job, and that's not to be weaker than you were at the beginning of it. And I feel like we've done that. You know, not only do you get rid of... Thank you, I am feeling better now. Thank you, James, by the way. Not only do you get... Not only do you don't get the striker in that you need, but you also get rid of Ben Rama and Fornals, which are also changes you could do in this game. I don't know how effective they would be, but you could at least do them, especially like Fornals, or even Ben Rama to like control the ball a bit and whatever. Like we're just gonna keep getting bitten. We're just gonna keep getting bitten, and we just don't have the squad for it. So we're in this scenario, and I'm looking at the bench, right, and I'm like, okay, we need to make like a sub would be we want to change something up here a little bit. Anang won't change anything. Johnson, listen, as much as I love him, and when he comes on, inevitably I will be shouting Bele, but for now, it won't change anything. Cresswell won't change anything. Ogbonna won't change anything. Phillips won't change anything. Urfi won't change anything. Cornet won't change anything. Ings won't change anything. Mubama is the only one who I think you could argue would make a positive change. Like you could be pretty certain would make a positive change, and even he, like, I don't know. Hoiberg coming on, as well as who's the other one? Richarlison coming on for who's it? Was it Bern? We're looking for the flick on for Kulusevski. Poor, and passing was poor. Paquetá playing himself into trouble completely unnecessarily. Thankfully, they take way too long, end up playing it out wide to the left-hand side. It's going to be a threat to us. Thank you very much. But Jesus Christ, that was fine. By the way, Dean, random, and sorry for everyone for just having a personal conversation with Dean in this moment. I apologize. I was rewatching Curry Hour the other day. Could not remember for the life of me that you were in the live chat for that. I was trying to find a bit from it for some reason to send to someone, and then I saw you in the live chat. And I was like, bloody hell, Dean was there for a legendary moment in West Ham YouTube history that, like, no one will know apart from very few. 7 minutes to go. Emerson gets the control. Wide on the left-hand side. Decides to cut his way inwards. Played forward for Kudus. Good control. He's now on the right-hand side. Pings it across, looking for Mikel Antonio. Wide on the left. Emerson. Bree gives the ball back to Antonio, who runs at his man. He gets a ball in, but Vicario collects it. Yeah, the energy's just completely gone. There's just no energy. Nice. I thought it was good from Emerson. I think if that was probably against James Ward-Prowse, it was nicely done. Yeah, it's just don't get me wrong. This thin squad is also, don't get me wrong. Moyes is obviously 33% to blame for it. It's him. It's Sullivan and it's Steiden. They all have equal problems with that, in my opinion. There's no excuse for any of them for why we don't have it. But yeah, the energy levels are just completely gone. Are just completely gone at this point. And we're batting for it. Danny Ings is going to come on. Okie dokie. Do I think the owners are not bothered? Do I think the owners aren't bothered if we're in Europe? I think here's the thing, James. I'd say this. I think we are bothered. I think partly why I say about, for example, the like partly what I would say about the idea of like the January transfer window and the thin squad, for example, being the fault of everyone is we know for a fact that when we are in good positions, David Sullivan does not like spending. It's only when we're in bad positions that he likes spending in January, right? I think they care a lot if we're in Europe. I think it helps them out a massive amount if we're in Europe again. I just think that there's this part of David Sullivan's business plan that says when West Ham are in a good position in January, you don't spend. And that's a huge problem for us because we need it. It's going to be a corner. James Ward-Prowse, Jarrod Bowen standing over it. In swinger. Forward comes Kurt Zouma. Forward comes Mavropanos. Antonio's just standing on Vicario. It was whipped in. Mavropanos. Oh, Suchek was also there. It was good. It was nicely placed. Far enough away from Vicario to where he can't come and collect it. Just on the edge of that 6-yard box. All three of the big men just in a row jumping up. Thomas Suchek can't get his head to it properly. Okay, Sean, hear me out. Hear me out. When we were doing really well under any other manager in January, did we spend money? Because me and you both know the answer is no, which means that he is not 100% to blame. You can quibble about percentages. I don't really give a crap. Like, it makes no difference. Like, the point I'm making is that it is a joint issue across the board. So you have to say it's a joint issue across the board because it's not just a David Moyes issue. Now, is there problems with certain things? Yes, but if you get thrown a player, that doesn't necessarily mean they're the right player. For example, Danny Ings. You know, someone who looks like he's about to come on. Someone who looks like he's about to come on in Danny Ings is not exactly a useful player for us because he plays completely wrong system. It doesn't matter if you throw it at David Moyes or not. It's not going to solve the problem. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he has no fault. What I'm saying is that there is equal fault across the path, and that there needs to be a system in place where we don't have this problem come up every single time we're in January if we're doing well. And part of me thinks that's just only going to get solved once once David Sullivan goes, because he's the big like problem here. You know what I mean? Whipped in corner from Spurs, headed away from Gonzo. Like, we can quibble on percentages if you want. If you want to say, like, you know, if you want to say Moyes is 94.763211232111%, that's fine. I don't mind what percentages are. I don't really care. What my point I'm making is that it's a consistent problem. I disagree so strong. I understand what you're saying. I 100% understand what you're saying. And I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily disagree with that as a premise. What I'm saying is if you are offering a manager a player who doesn't work in his system, a la what we did with Danny Ings, then what's it going to cause? It's only cause us problems. It only causes more problems down the line. Because now we need to get a striker, and it's like, well, we have this guy on the bench, Danny Ings, who's on a six-figure salary, who can't play in the system, is kind of done anyway, but can't play in the system. And it's like, well, what's the point in being here? You know? So it doesn't matter if he's offered the player or not. It has to be someone who works. Now, that should be where Steiden comes in. But again, we know for a fact that when we do well in the first half of the season and we're in a good position, we never spend in January because David Sullivan doesn't like doing it. And if you want to blame Moyes 100% for it, go ahead, that's fine. But what I'm saying is when it happens under a different manager, again, like it has happened under all those other managers, what are we going to do? Blame the manager again? That's not to say David Moyes has zero effect on it. He obviously does. Jarrod Bowen. This is really good. Jarrod Bowen hits it. Save from Vicario, and it gets pulled back, and Kudus somehow misses it. Vicario with an incredible double save, by the way. Oh, so close. So close. Spurs making another sub. Johnson off. It came on, I missed it. What's Lo Celso? Sure. So annoying. So annoying. Whipped forward from Lucas Paquetá. I'm shocked Antonio's lasted this long, and he's moved out onto the left-hand side, which is even more mad to me. I mean, I get why he's done it. He's tried to move the guy with more energy and more directness up front, right? So he's put Kudus up front. Jarrod Bowen's shifted across. Well, Jarrod Bowen's still, I guess, in his strong right-hand position, right? But I'm shocked that Mikel Antonio has stayed on this long, and I'm also shocked that he's been moved out to the left-hand side. I guess I get why, but 4 minutes of added time. Driven forward, doesn't quite work out. Headed down. I need to check my match bingo. Emerson. Again, we're getting in there deep. Play for Emerson. Can't get the cross in. It's going to be another corner. We take the corner. Oh, someone's claimed 2 lines. Fair play to whoever's claimed 2 lines. I'm so close. So close. Right, here we go. 3 minutes left of stoppage time. 3 minutes plus 15 seconds. Corner to West Ham. Left-hand side. James Ward-Prowse to take it. It's going to be an in-swinger. Antonio is in there standing on Vicario. Kurt Zuma is there. Just standing on top of Vicario right now. Both him, Antonio, and Zuma. Zuma will probably move away. Antonio's going to stay there. Højbjerg's trying to battle with Antonio to stop him from getting in there. James will press the whip this in. Come on. Come on. Whipped in towards the back stick. Oh, Vicario managed to just swipe it away. It was close. Kudus plays it back to Sofal. Back to Kudus. Wide on the right-hand side. He's got Paquetá just ahead of him. Instead, he tries to cross the ball and it doesn't quite work out. Sofal plays it back to Fabianski. A collective sigh from the stadium. He didn't really have any options there, if we're being honest about it. And a poor kick from Fabianski goes well over the top of everyone. Just over 2 minutes to go. Just over 2 minutes to go. I mean, Danny Ings was meant to come on, has just never did. So an insane moment for him. Four minutes of extra time. We've got 2 left of it to go. Spurs just dribbling forward. Paquetá does well to get in there. He's no foul. He's asking for one. He needs to get back up. Sofal steps to him, stops it from going forward. The Celso out wide to Undogi. Mavropanos comes across, gets the block. Nice work from Mavropanos. Good movement. Gets a foot in. It's going to be a throw-in in the corner quadrant. Just over 90, just under 90 seconds to go. Subscribe if you haven't already. Most consistent West Ham fan channel of the last 4 years for watch-alongs. Been a bit iffy this year, not going to lie. Food poisoning last week and all that nonsense. But usually here, so subscribe because we're always here doing it. And like the video, it helps us out massively. Like the review as well, which I'll be putting a link in. I'll be putting a link in the chat at some point very, very soon for that. Tottenham playing it around. Just making sure that's live now. Whipped in, control down. It's opportunity for Spurs straight into the hands of Fabianski. And he will hold on to that. So close from Tottenham, right at the death here. Whipped in, control backwards, a little bit awkward. And Udogie in the area takes a swing in it. And thankfully, easily controlled from Fabianski. 4 years watch long time. I know it's crazy how quickly it's gone. Makes no sense to me. Big ball over the top. Kurt Zuma's been given man of the match in the meantime. Kudus with the control does well. Kudus trying to find his way through. Deflected cross. Just maybe 1 or 2 moments he could have let it go easier. Dink over the top from Souček. Jarrod Bowen steams onto it. Pinks it across. Oh, far side. Paquetá's there. Kudus is there short if he wants him. He finds Kudus. Can't find the shot away. Oh. Spurs are getting all the opportunity to counter-attack. Please. Foul, good block. Souček flicks it forward into the path of Paquetá. Come on, who's still forward? Kudus is alongside him. He runs for the reverse. Paquetá, he's waiting for Antonio to join. Bowen's arrived late. Antonio. And there's the final whistle. An insane end. Antonio, I tell you what, he did everything he could, to be fair. I was surprised he didn't get taken off, and the ball got pinged over the top to him there for a second. And he tries to sort of spin around and flick it and can't really do anything, and it ends 1-1. I don't know how to feel about it. Truthfully, I don't know how to feel about it. Obviously, very close. Like I say, you could have told me at halftime it could have gone any way and I would have believed you. A hard-fought win, or hard-fought draw, I should say. Yeah, a difficult one, but one nevertheless. Stress. Still. End of the game. End of the game ends 1-1. It'll be interesting to see how everyone feels about that on the watch along. Oh, sorry, on the review, which will be happening in a few minutes' time. I'll spam that link in the chat now for you. Go head over there, get involved. Make sure to like that video while you're there because it helps out Gonzo massively. We'll be doing the live review in a few moments' time. Thank you all for watching. Massively appreciate it. Ends West Ham United 1, Spurs 1. a very close run thing, an important point potentially in the long run, if we're being honest about it. Keeps us in contention for those European spaces. It's going to be tight towards the end of the season. Obviously, we've played more games than other people around us. The results have kind of gone our way, but we'll have to see how that ends up playing out. But that's for next week. At the weekend, we'll of course be back. I will be live as well. I'll do my own stuff as well, but I will be back at the weekend for the review. For the watch along. Make sure to come back and get involved there. Thank you all for your well wishes as well for the last one. Massively appreciate you. Go head over onto that review now with Gonzo. I'll spam the link one more time. Get involved, like that video to help out Gonzo a lot, and then just I'll be interested to see what everyone's opinions on that match are, because I feel like you can take it anyways. Until next time, everyone, appreciate you all, and come on your hands. Speak to you later. Bye, everyone. Bye.